Happy Saturday. I'm the Gray Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today. We are going to get started on today's daily collective read in the next few minutes, but if you would like to get on the list for today, the list, as always, is open. As always, it is 3 cards for a donation of $29 or more, 4 cards for a donation of $23 or more for my subscribers. Links in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read for across these apps. Those are pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. We'll also be doing 2 giveaways today. Our first reading giveaway is going to be a reading giveaway when we get to 50K likes, so make sure you are tapping that screen and we will get to 50K in no time. The other giveaway we'll be doing today is a reading giveaway for the highest gifter between now and the conclusion of the daily collective read. So I wish you a lot of luck if you're participating in that giveaway as well. Prior to beginning today's daily collective read, I will be giving a brief recap on what we've been seeing in the cards over the last few days. If you would like to find that full reading, you can find it over on the place where we keep the photos. You can also find it over on the place where we keep the videos. You can also find it as a podcast over on my spot at Tarot Church and over on my stack. But before we begin, first and foremost, most important question, how are you doing today? There are no wrong answers. Oh, we've got, the moon is currently in Aries. We've got Mars and Venus in Capricorn. We've entered Capricorn season. And the one thing I want to describe that we have to be a little conscientious about right now in this energy is the fact that we've got Venus just tucked up real nicely between Mars and Mercury. I'm going to keep on saying this right now. It's not that we're going through a Venus in retrograde cycle. It's not that we're going through one, but it feels a lot like one, which can often, it's working through the space of the perception of the self. It's working through hypersensitivity in relationality to the self as well. We are coming out of retrograde season, but we're not completely, there are still some very, very significant planets that are in retrograde that we want to be very conscientious about, because I like to describe it right now. It's like it's the type of energy. It's like a sensitivity sandwich. It's like the best way I can describe it. It's being deep in your feels. It's working on potentially a lot of that energetic moodiness that we get when we've got Jupiter like retrograding in Cancer, and then feeling the energetic frustration in relationality to things that you're perceiving, the way that you're perceiving things that may be distorted based on your own energetic aspirations. Now, I'm going to use like the word that I want you to make sure that you're navigating with situations and circumstances right now is the word proportional. Okay? Because I need to describe it. I'm just seeing something in this energy. It's too easy in this energy to blow things out of proportion. The positive for energy like this is it's good in relationality to doing things in the space of profession and occupation that potentially have impact, right? We want to make sure that we're utilizing this energy in a way that feels like it is most productive and positive for the self, right? Working into the sense of the self by which you articulate upon one's passion and purpose, profession, okay? That's the type of energy that we want to move this into, right? That's actually a bit of the positive that we have with alignments like we're experiencing right now. Positivity, like passion, productivity, and professionalism is a lot of that work in terms of being able to articulate and identify something that you feel energetically passionate about, right? Being able to do something in a personal way that feels like it carries a lot of impact. What you want to be very conscientious about right now is having emotionally charged conversations that seem to lack direction. Because I'll tell you right now, those are modalities or experiences where instead of going forward, you'll potentially feel like you're going to feel the weight of the retrograde. Don't let don't let the emotionality that we effectively often feel when we've got these energies that are still in retrograde. We've got Jupiter still in retrograde. We've got Uranus still in retrograde. We've got Eris and Chiron that are way too close together, way too close together, but also in retrograde. So, and I'm just giving you that sense. And here is how I want you to effectively fortify in relationality to something that you're feeling right now, especially if you find yourself deep within your feels, especially if you find yourself really in that modality of building into pathwork of nostalgia. Okay. Healthy emotions carry directions with them. The ability to articulate not only upon how we feel, but the productivity that we bring to the emotional space that allows our emotions to feel like gifts to those that energetically receive them. Because what often happens, and we're going to talk about this in relationality to how it's potentially been impacting the relationship frequencies, because what we've been seeing right now is a culmination of a lot of those moon relationships, and the moon relationships were effectively coming together between the time of Uranus stationing retrograde up until the present, right? It's been working through, and I got to tell you, those relationships, they came together. They've been coming together for the duration of this retrograde period. It's working through, right? It's working through the perpetual kerfuffle. It's working through all of these modalities or experiences by which one feels energetically pulled in different directions, potentially working through any kind of chaotic energy, a lot of area to potentially be frustrated, right? And one of the hard things that we see that's been happening for a lot of those relationships is making sure that they're not energetically internalizing external problems, being able to effectively refine upon something, being able to do something better. We see that for a lot of those relationships, this could be a moment by which they're articulating to each other how much they mean to one another, because it is the observation or the amplification of the peace that they effectively bring to circumstances or situations that allow the viability to be able to recognize and identify what is energetically possible. There's a lot of that peace and easement. And what's beautiful about that is, and it was taking me a little bit of time to kind of discern the lesson that's coming through those experiences, right? Ultimately, the gift that we bring to one another is energetic peace, right? It's the space by which we make something easier for one another. It's the smoothing out by which things are effectively possible. So we see that for a lot of those relationships, that ability of effectively identifying or articulating upon it, right? The refinement in relationality to not making energetic, I keep wondering, the refinement in relationality that feels proportional to what is important. I just keep on seeing that for a lot of those relationships, there's something there that is really beautiful, because they're very elegant towards one another, and that elegance is the gift that they share, because it's not working in terms of what they find, but how they can effectively refine upon what it is that they're setting about to do. Now, this brings us to, and I'll tell you right now, there may be separations that are occurring at this same time right now. And the separations that we potentially see that are happening right now have to do with modalities or experiences wherein we recognize or discern the differentiation between what feels, I keep on getting a lot of the relationships right now are healing with a correction point as it relates to what's hyperbolic. Those modalities or those experiences by which we're able to effectively articulate or discern or explain in relationality to what it is that we're working on trying to do together. The message that we keep on getting every time Saturn stations out of retrograde in Pisces, because this is not the first time we've seen that occur, is that emotions do not fix things. Emotions do not fix things unless they have directions attached to them, right? Because the space by which we bring emotions to things, but the emotions that often feel like they confound or they energetically confuse are effectively those modalities or those experiences by which the emotions don't necessarily feel like they're productive in terms of being able to articulate upon the direction that we aspire or desire to go, but rather feel like an energetic burden upon which we put upon one another, right? The feeling of being energetically weighted down. So we see that if these are modalities or experiences right now where someone's trying to return back to a situation, trying to articulate upon the fact that they have emotions upon something as if the emotions are the glue, it's the understanding that the emotions are not the issue, right? It's not working through the emotions, but the ability to practically apply the emotions in ways that feel like they help to heal relationship rather than to energetically hurt relationship. And this is why we do the work of internal processing and refinement, being able to articulate and define what is an internal problem versus an external. Now, this brings us to some energy right now in solitude is potentially working through both of those modalities at the same time. Throughout all of this, we also see we're moving towards the energy that is the temperance relationships. Now, the temperance relationships were the relationships that were coming together between the time of Uranus stationing retrograde up until the solstice period that we experienced over this summer. Those were the relationships that were fortified by the understanding that everything is possible so long as the work is mutual. That ability of being able to put mutual effort into things. Again, the hard part for a lot of those relationships right now is working through the pseudo Venus return, like the pseudo Venus retrograde that we're almost feeling between the space by which we recognize that Venus is tucked right now between Mars and Mercury, potentially working through those situations or experiences by which we feel our perception of the self is distorted. Either the perception that we have in relation to the self, the way that we believe others perceive us to be, or simultaneously others' false perceptions of us. But that's why we see that for a lot of those relationships, feeling stabilized by the clear clarity of counterpart, the perception of the counterpart that helps to fortify one's own sense of perception. We see that for a lot of those relationships, it may be feeling like a difficult time, right? And again, that's what's happening with that energy of Jupiter in what can we expect with Jupiter retrograding in Cancer and Uranus having retrograded back into Taurus. The feeling that we get frustrated by the speed of our own energetic progress. So what are the energy and what are the relationships helping each other recognize or identify? The ability to find that point of resilience as they continue forward from that direction. It's not easy though, because it may be requiring a lot of catharsis, like dealing with the energetic complications that often arrive in relationality to our intentions versus others' inabilities to see those intentions. Now, this brings us to those relationships that are the magician relationships. And those magician relationships were coming together between the time of the solstice period that we had this summer up until Mercury and Venus stationing direct behind Neptune. Now, these relationships have been working through a lot of energy related to situations and circumstances outside of relationship. I want to say it's very difficult for some of those relationships because I see them moving deeper into divine union, even as they're experiencing a wound. But the wounding, right, the wounding that they're potentially experiencing there is recognizing the wound that is caused through maturation cycles. And what do we often experience in the wounds that are caused during maturation cycles? The observation of knowing that we're moving in the right direction, but feeling the sense of another working out their feelings through us as we're building into the context of those healthy choices. So we see that for a lot of those relationships, those modalities or those experiences by which they recognize or understand that the healthy spiritual journey of the self, or the space by which we move into healthy partnership, should be a modality or experience of celebration. But often those experiences by which we recognize or identify modalities or experiences by which we're moving towards, right? We're moving towards our positivity, or we're moving towards our unified sense of bliss, but another person is working out their feelings in the observation of us doing so. I keep on getting that those are relationships that are navigating situations with a sense of proportionality, even as they're moving deeply into a place of catharsis, because it's the observation. And this is what we talk about in terms of recognizing or working through maturation cycles that are like, and it has a little bit to do with the modality of understanding that our joy is energetically rampant, right? This space by which the joy that we experience, there's enough for everyone to energetically share. But when we are moving towards too much energetic comparison of the self, understanding that comparison is something that we have to work to heal ourselves from, we often build into the context of seeing others' joy and feeling like it effectively impacts us. So we see that for a lot of those relationships, potentially recognizing or identifying experiences by which they wish that they could put something energetically positive towards something, but feeling the energetic rough point in relationality to what they aspire to in terms of creating something that feels happy, versus working through another person's energetic hurdles, working through another person's temperamentality, or the space by which they're being energetically reactive for no apparent reason. We see that those are a lot of the energies that are working through the observation that they're going through a maturation cycle. But even in the modality by which they're recognizing and identifying and going through that maturation cycle, we see that the energy is finding, like they're finding their own sense of resilience. They're finding their own sense of energetic fortification. They're finding their own ability of effectively being able to articulate or to stand upon something, because it's a lot of the work that we see that they're articulating or building upon that speaks towards the fact that healthy relationship is one by which we cultivate and curate sanctuary. And sanctuary is not the space by which you allow anything, right? Sanctuary is the modality by which we understand that our standards are such that the standard that we know is valuable to hold is one that we can define the reason by which we find ourselves holding it, because our trauma often likes to disguise itself as our standards in relationality to holding on to something, but not necessarily being able to articulate why. Now, that is where we find all of the energy prior to beginning today's daily collective read. But if you'd like to find that full reading, you can find it over on the place where we keep the photos. You can also find it over on the place where we keep the videos. You can also find it as a podcast over on my spot at Tarot Church and over on my stack. I would also invite you over to my stack to learn more about a very special retreat that we will be hosting this August. I'd like to invite you to join us to travel to the location by which we first discovered the tarot, which was first originally documented, to understand and to work upon our own experience in getting to understand the cards further, while also being able to understand the civilization by which the tarot was able to expand and thrive. We will be traveling to Florence, Tuscany, and Rome. And if you're interested in learning more about that trip, you can find it all listed over on my stack. I also encourage you to head over to my stack to learn more about our next class program in our Tarot Church class program series. Please join me on Thursday, January 15th at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We will be continuing our studies into the tarot with a focus on the World card. If you would like to become a part of that tarot class program, all you need to do is head on over to my stack and become a paid subscriber. Your paid subscription to my stack is your ticket of entry into our live classes each and every month. As a monthly subscriber, you will have access to over 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library Class Archive. Now, it's not necessary to catch up. I'll be doing my best to give you an update on everything we've studied prior to beginning that next class, but the material is there for you to receive as you're ready to receive it. You'll also have access to a complimentary one-on-one mentorship class. I mean, you also have access to a one-on-one chat with me and the other students to ask any questions that you may have in relation to anything we've learned and studied thus far. And if you become a founding member, not only will you receive a discount on the full year's worth of classes, you'll also have access to over 20 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library Class Archive. One of the things I tried to do with these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's definitely something there for everyone. Don't let your lack of experience or your robust experience prevent you from joining us in these classes. And even if you don't become a paid subscriber to my stack, I would encourage you to follow me there to stay up to date on any new offerings or services. I also post my weekly newsletter there, which will let you know about my in-person events as well as my online live schedule. You also get to know more about, you'll also find my mystic meditation articles there, which give you updates on what we've been seeing energetically in the cards in article form. I just wrote one recently on navigating this new moon that we just experienced. It felt a lot like a full moon. I also want to let you guys know that on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorship classes. These are for any of my students seeking a more personalized educational experience with me. I take a very limited number of students for this reason, as those classes are focused on each individual's personal spiritual goals and journey work. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series, weekly or bi-weekly, as your schedule permits. Also, for my students seeking more consistent weekly tarot support, I'm very happy to offer weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute readings, again, weekly or bi-weekly, as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey. And I'm also very happy to now offer dream interpretation readings, which you can purchase per dream or as a series. If you purchase the series, I would encourage you to start to keep a dream journal, as we will meet weekly or bi-weekly with that journal and utilize the tarot to understand the key themes and messages coming towards you in the dream space. That said, we are going to get started on today's daily collective read in the next few minutes. But if you would like to get on the list for today, it's a lovely time to get on the list. You'll be the first person read for. 3 cards for a donation of $29 or more, 4 cards for a donation of $23 or more for my subscribers. Links in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read for across these apps: pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. We're also at 6.4K likes. When we get to 50K, I will be gifting a reading back to the collective. So make sure you're tapping that screen, and we'll get to 50K in no time. How are you doing today, Da? And welcome, Staub. Welcome, Peace and Pelicano. Hi there, AA. Welcome as well, Riki. Welcome, Sunflower and Anne. How are you doing today, Spring? Hi, Grand Rising. Everything you oh my God, everything was retrograded at the same time. I swear, Uranus is conjunct my Chiron, Juno, Midheaven, and North Node. Oh dear. Yes, I've been working on mastering my emotions now for a couple of years. It makes a huge difference. Oh, thank you so much for being here and receiving these messages. And I'm so glad that it's in alignment with what you yourself have been experiencing. And thank you for anybody who's joining us over on the place where we keep the videos or the place where we keep the photos. Just a reminder, if you would like to get on the list today, the list is open. You can also do so across the other apps via my tree that has links in it in my bio. How are you doing today, Sunflower? Welcome. How are you doing today as well? Thank you for those gifts. Grand Rising, good vibes. Good to see you today. Heather, welcome. Hope you're having an absolutely beautiful start to your day. You can absolutely use one of those 50K wins that you won yesterday to get on the list. You'll be the first person that we're reading for today. If anybody else would care to get on the list today, you will be the second person read for. Yes, frustrated and arguing with myself in my head. That's the type of energy that we're experiencing right now. Just let your sense of purpose guide you. How are you doing today, Selena? Welcome. I woke up with the worst body aches and headache. I was like, what planet is it this time? I mean, I actually have a feeling, some of that energy that you're experiencing right now has to do with Uranus that is in retrograde between Gemini and Taurus, because that can create a little bit of pressure, if that makes sense. So make sure that you're not pushing, like make sure that you're making sure that you're taking make sure that you're taking time to ease things into things. Make sure you're hydrating a lot as well too. And thank you, Ivana, for those gifts. Good to see you, dear. Guys, please remember to recharge your heart me's today if you'd like to have an animal spirit guide card on top of your one card reading. And Jonesy, thank you so much for the follow as well. Hi there, Annie. How are you doing today? Capricorn, how are you doing, Angiko? Gemini, exactly. Thank you as well. Well, the thing about it is, and we saw this, Uranus was in Gemini, and then it retrograded back into Taurus. So that's what I mean in relationality to not getting frustrated right now with your progress on things. Things might things might not be the way that they energetically seem in relationality to the perception of the self and the progress that you're potentially making around things. That's something really important to navigate right now, particularly and especially in the realm of the emotions. Thank you so much, King, for those roses. I appreciate you. King, if you go ahead and comment, make sure to give King a follow too. Absolutely excellent reader as well. Hashtag readers supporting readers. As I mentioned, friends, we are going to get started on today's daily collective read. If you would like to get on the list for today, it is a wonderful time to get on the list. You will be the second person read for. You will also have an additional card in your reading. 3 cards for a donation of $29 or more. 4 cards for a donation of $23 or more for my subscribers. Links in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I don't read for across these apps: pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. Love it here, keeping me company while I make breakfast. Oh, wonderful, King. I hope you're having an absolutely beautiful winter season. As I mentioned, friends, we are going to get started on today's daily collective read in the next few minutes. We're at 7.9K likes. At 50K, I will be gifting that reading back to the collective. But before we warm up before we get started on today's daily collective read, let's warm up those intuition muscles with an intuition check. I've got the animal spirit guide cards here. We're going to count back from 10. And when we get to 1, I will reveal the card. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We got this out. Thank you guys so much for participating. We'll do that again after the next reading. As I mentioned, friends, we are going to get started. If you'd like to get on the list right now, the list is open. Also, if you are on the hold list and would like to be added back to the list, all you need to do is post your information. All you need to do is let me know the date that you are added to the hold list. I'll be happy to add you back to the list. And just a reminder, when we hit 50K, I will be gifting that reading back to the collective. So make sure you're tapping that screen. And we will get to 50K in no time. That said, no better time than the present. Why don't we get started? Welcome, everyone. Happy Saturday. I'm the Gray Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Saturday, December 27th, 2025. What do we have coming through in the cards for today? We are going to be doing a masculine, feminine, non-binary energy update. We are going to be starting right now with masculine energy. I am going to be using the Tarot del Fuego to read into the headspace of the masculine. We've got 2 cards out. Can I please have 1 more card, please? Excellent. We've got here the Fool card in its upright, in combination with the Emperor in its reversal, in combination with the Queen of Wands in its upright. Okay, that's a lot of major arcana in the headspace of the masculine and court cards. So what do we effectively see that's happening right now in relationality to the work that we're identifying and recognizing that is happening in masculine headspace? Bearing in mind, this is not based on gender, but what one feels most aligned to. I feel like that we're seeing, I want to like let this serve as the daily reminder to a lot of the masculine energy right now that we are still going through retrograde energy. There are still planets that are in retrograde. And what we're effectively seeing right now, the planets that are still in retrograde, we've got Uranus in retrograde in Taurus, and we've got Jupiter in retrograde in Cancer. This can create a lot of modalities of hypersensitivity, particularly in the realm of our emotions. It's and I want to describe that one of the things like that type of energy can almost feel like if we're not used to feeling our feelings, it can sometimes create the space of the feelings that often feel like they get the energetic better of us. There's a continuation that we keep on seeing in relationality to masculine. And I feel like I feel like for a lot of the masculine energy, it's working through frustration in relationality to what one is supposed to do with emotions, right? And this is what's hard about it. And I just keep on getting the same message that's coming through. Like this is the same message that keeps on coming through with Cancer, with Jupiter in Cancer and Uranus in Taurus in retrograde, which is turning something off is not getting stronger at it. Turning something off is not getting stronger at it, right? The ability to understand, define wherewithal, right? Wherewithal is what we seek in the realm of feelings. And it's a misambiguation of stoicism, where somehow stoicism became disassociation instead of wherewithal, right? The ability to allow oneself to feel the energetic feelings and to be able to effectively articulate or refine or communicate upon them. Those are the feelings that build bridges, right? But the thing is, and this is what we talk about in the space of emotions, the emotions that we feel either create architecture in our lives, right? They help us to feel energetically fortified in relationality to what it is that we're intending to set upon doing. Or they can energetically damage everything. And it's all about the application of those energetic emotions. And so I feel like there's a lot of the work that we identify that masculine is doing in relationality to being able to navigate the emotions, not like some kind of pesky thing that they're working to get rid of, right? But rather something that they're working to energetically embrace. It's hard. And it's almost more frustrating because I feel like what happens with it, like what I see a lot of masculine energy working through is if you work through the path work by which you just tell yourself that like you feel like it's an energetic victory to be able to shut something off, it then actually makes it harder to get stronger at something. Because the modality by which like I keep on hearing the lingering temptation of disassociation is ever present, is what I keep on hearing. The lingering temptation of disassociation is ever present, but that destroys connection. So, and I feel like there's potentially a lot of masculine energy that's speaking to feminine in relationality to those experiences, right? Like that's very heavy in relationality to the masculine's journey of energetically awakening to the self, right? The awakening to the experience that the emotions are not something to be avoided, but something to be energetically embraced. This brings us to feminine energy. And for feminine energy right now, I'm going to be reading upon the Smith-Waite Centennial deck. Woo! Flying out of the deck. We've got the Eight of Pentacles in its upright with the King of Cups in its reversal and the Four of Swords in its reversal. And this is feminine energy doing similar work in the capacity of masculine, but in relationality to the cynicism that feminine holds as it relates to the experiences of the past. Because for a lot of the feminine energy, I just keep on seeing the modality by which we articulate upon something being hopeless is the modality by which we articulate. You cannot manifest something in the same breath that you give up on it. I'm going to say that again. You cannot manifest something in the same breath that you energetically give up on it. And the modality and the experience by which I see a lot of the feminine working towards situations and circumstances is the ability to effectively identify or refine upon the experience by which we hold each other, like we move towards the capacity of being able to understand what is energetically productive. What is the modality by which we recognize and identify that we put our effective aspirations towards things? Because this is the thing I keep on seeing that feminine's working through, right? We don't build prejudice. We don't build prejudice in relationality to race. We don't build prejudice in relationality to creed. These are observable aspirations that we hold dear and we understand are important. But why do we still do it when we speak towards gender, right? The modality or the experience by which we work towards the energetic frustration that we hold towards different things, like that is the energy of taking something and articulating upon something being holistically an energetic problem, rather than something that others are effectively aspiring and working towards trying to resolve. So I see that for a lot of the feminine energy, those modalities or experiences by which they're working towards the space of releasing energetic hopelessness, right? Building into the aspiration, right? Building into the aspiration that we hold and allowing the past to inform us, but not to create a sense of energetic hopelessness within us. So both, and I think it's really important. And if you are a tarot nerd, I would encourage you to go and take a look at today's spread, because what we effectively see here is, what do we see in the masculine headspace? Contemplation towards feminine energy. What do we see towards feminine headspace? Contemplation towards masculine energy. And now we're moving into the non-binary space. Can I please get 3 cards? And I'll be utilizing for the headspace of non-binary energy right now, the Tarot of the Divine. 3 cards, please. 2 and 1 more. Thank you. We've got here the 3 of Coins in its upright. We've got here the Judgment card in its upright. And we've got here the Hanged Man. Now, this is really important because this is a continuation. And I want to describe, like, if we're looking at the energy right now, every time I read right now for the energy of masculine, I'm reading a lot of that right now being in the space of Jupiter retrograding in Cancer, right? Like, what do I do with these feelings? For feminine, we've got a lot of the feminine. I feel like I see feminine right now very much in Uranus, like in Uranus in retrograde, which is working into, like, in Taurus, which is the space by which we cannot look towards, we cannot aspire at the same time as we despair, right? You cannot aspire and despair at the same time. It's just like you got to pick direction. Well, for the non-binary energy, I've got all of this energy right now completely, like it is that Mercury, Venus, Mars that's just getting to us right now. And I got to tell you, here's the thing about it. Capricorn energy, beautiful, chef kiss. Love Capricorn energy. Capricorn energy can often help us in the realm of productivity. It can help us be energetically productive upon things, right? It's like, I like to describe it as like hard hat energy. It's like getting to work upon things. But the modality, right? The modality by which we articulate that we are focusing on something, and the experience by which we articulate that when we're trying to focus, right? The frustration of energy, right? Like, it's the gift that we give each other in terms of being able to amplify and articulate and not take that focus personally. I keep on getting the same message that's happening right now for a lot of this non-binary energy, and it's a contemplation on the difference between being centered in self and self-centered. Now, what is the difference between being centered in self versus being self-centered? Centered in self is the experience by which we understand and we recognize the way that we are energetically perceived, and also the way that others perceive us. It's the modality and the experience by which we allow for the context of being okay, like being okay with being misperceived, as it were. Because it's the modality by which, and here's the thing that's important about that, when we're working into the context of others desires for us, and we're working towards our sense of purpose. Healthy relationship is never amplified with the direction of where you aspire the self to go. It's the direction of the partnership, right? It's the ability to see how good something can be. But the modality by which we work, and this is what's happening with a lot of these relationships right now, they're healing from coveting relationships. And coveting relationships are often those experiences by which you have to move away from someone because they amplify or articulate the fact that they feel like they know what is energetically good for you, instead of being conscientious and discerning and being able to energetically listen in relationality to what we articulate is for our best interest. So we see that for a lot of those relationships right now, there's a lot of passion that's coming through there. But the passion that we effectively see is the passion that gets frustrated in energy that often tries to discern that unrefined feelings are passion. And unrefined feelings are not passion, because unrefined feelings are the space of confusion. We do the work to check our emotions to make sure that they've got healthy directions attached to them, because the modality and the experience by which we articulate and share them becomes that energetic gift by which we're able to amplify, articulate, and experience something. So we see that for a lot of the energy working through that space, right? Doing the work, right? Doing the work to energetically assess the self, right? Often in the space by which they are potentially hypercritical upon those experiences. I just keep on seeing that for a lot of those relationships, it's building into the context of what feels energetically healing. It's building into the context of the identification point in relationality to doing something in a different way. But even in the space by which they're working to do so, it's the energy that recognizes that often when we're doing something in a different way, the first thing we have to navigate is the space by which others misperceive or misconceive us. So I see that for a lot of the energy working in that capacity, it's the observation of effectively holding themselves energetically gently as they continue forward in that way, right? Allowing the observation of the sense of the understanding of the self, right? The knowing of the self that allows for the context of the healthy relationship by which they're building. But it requires a lot of discernment. It requires a lot of care. Moving back into the masculine energy, into the heart space of masculine. Can I get 3 cards, please? And for those, we're going to be utilizing right now the Tarot of the Divine. Whoop! For the heart space of masculine. If you heard me say whoop, it's because the card just, hold on, I gotta go dive for it. Gotta do some shadow work. Hold on a minute, I'll be right back. Come back here. Okay. All right, I got it. Yeah, we got the 7 of Swords in its transverse. So we got the 7 of Swords in its transverse. Makes sense. And 2 more, please. We've got the 2 of Cups. Oh, yeah. And we've got the Ace of Cups, and it's upright. This is heavy. This is heavy, and the past is heavy in the heart of the masculine energy. Listen, a masculine energy that's going through this right now. I'm going to tell you right now. I was talking about this the last time we did this reading. If you're looking back on the past and you're wincing, congratulations. That's the sound. That is the sound of wisdom coming in. Right? If you're working through the modality by which you look at the past and you energetically wince, like that is the sound of wisdom getting in. The identification point in being able to look back on something. And this is why we need to talk about this. Like, this is why we need to talk about the fact. And this is what we mean by true humility. We've got this completely messed up today, because true humility is not about embarrassment. There's never been anything attached to embarrassment related to humility. Humility is the observation of looking towards a world and understanding that there is more to be known that could ever be known. right? And when we understand that there is more to be known than can ever be known, we face the world with a sense of profound inquiry and curiosity in terms of what it is that we recognize and identify there. And so I feel like there's some kind of modality in the experience of masculine, like looking back, like trying to do some inner child healing on a version of self that felt like they knew everything, is what I keep on seeing. That's the hard part, right? Like never are you like never are you more like, and that's why whenever you're like, I know everything, you're like alarm bells, like, because it's the observation, right? It's the observation by which like that wasn't I keep on hearing that wasn't knowing everything, that was ennui is what I keep on getting. That wasn't everything. That was ennui, which is a hard word because there isn't one in the English language. But the ennui that often happens when we're going through an energetic hurdle of self, by which we feel right, by which we feel that there's like by which we feel like there's nothing more to know, right? And so I feel like there's something really important there because especially I want to describe this. I almost see like the ennui that's released when masculine starts to confront their emotions, because this is often what happens when one disassociates, right? One's like you can't seek to learn and not have emotions connected to things, because if not, what's the like I keep on hearing it's like it's existential. It's like what's the point of everything being like nothing, because that's what makes life beautiful. Emotions make life beautiful. It's like emotions, the emotions that we bring into things, right? Like that sense of joy. And so I feel like this is a lot of, and I'm not surprised about this right now, because I feel like this is a lot of the masculine energy, like going on the hunt for the immaculate vibes. But it's also the journey of within. It's like the journey that we find within that allows us to find that without, right? Like it's the understanding that when we want to find compassion in the world, we start by finding the compassion within ourselves. When we want to find the love within the world, we start to reach in to find the love within ourselves, because that creates a space by which we don't look at the world from a point of dissatisfaction and going, this stinks, where is it? Being like, why aren't you energetically embodying it? It's like, keep on hearing, why aren't you energetically, like, have you tried embodying it? Have you tried being the change that you would like to see in the world? So I feel like there's a lot of that energy that is effectively kind of working through that. And I like to see it, because if I'm going to see a Seven of Swords, right? If I'm going to see a Seven of Swords anywhere and it's transverse, we want to see it in that space that we find it in. Make sure that you go take a look at today's spread. It'll be up on the stack when I post the podcast, because it's a very interesting pull that we're seeing here. And so that's what I keep on seeing. I feel like that's a lot of the masculine energy working very hard to try to make more compassionate choices. And I keep on hearing like the compassionate choices are also, and I keep on hearing it's also working through the compassion. And this is what we talk about. The difference between passion and compassion is compassion is the passion that we can communicate upon. That is literally how we make sure that we're not too deep in our ego, right? Because when we have passion for things, and we've been talking about this, the ego wants ridiculous things, okay? The ego is like, I want that and that, right? The ego wants ridiculous things. But the space by which we're able to communicate upon something in such a way that we're able to amplify or articulate upon the energetic intensity in terms of that being something that we share, I feel like that's a lot of the work that we see that the masculine is doing in relationality to effectively articulating and communicating, or working into the space of trying to energetically communicate in order to effectively facilitate something that feels like it is more robust, or something that feels like it's like they're working on building into the context of healthy heart opening. Now this brings us to the feminine energy, and I keep on getting this, right? Just coming back to the masculine for one moment, because the modality by which, and this is what happens, right? The difference, the problem with disassociation is it always breaks, right? Like this is what we can expect that we when we talk about Pluto in Aquarius, right? The problem with disassociation is that it always breaks. There's always something that overrides one's own ability to disassociate from it. And then when what happens is when you come out of disassociation, not only do you have whatever that was that made you feel all those feelings, but then you got all those feelings that you didn't deal with. You have all those feelings that you didn't deal with before, right? It's like the emotional flood, if you will, that occurs in the modality by which one allows oneself to feel something. And it's almost like the energy of masculine being like, yeah, this is why I need to heal that, because it's like once you start to feel, you can't energetically stop, and then you feel energetically overwhelmed by the feeling. It's the modality or the experience by which you're able to effectively identify or recognize. I feel like this is the energy that's like working, like working into the space of doing that. Like I keep on hearing in healthier ways, like a little bit more, like I keep on getting like a little bit more, like, you know, like not feeling like not getting upset at oneself in relationality to that progress. Now moving back towards feminine right now, can I get 3 cards for feminine? We're going to be using the we're going to be utilizing the Tarot del Fuego right now for the heart space of feminine. 3 cards, please. We've got here the 7 of Swords. Now, this is really intriguing, okay? Because this is the same exact card in the same location that we see it in the masculine heart space, just a different direction. We've got the 7 of Pentacles, double sevens right now in the feminine heart space. And we've got the Judgment card. Now, let's talk a little bit about what we're seeing there in relationality to those cards, because for a lot of those energies, what we're effectively identifying or working through right now is building into, right? Building into the context of feminine, trusting, I keep wondering, building into the context of feminine, learning to trust their energetic judgment. We just did a whole class on the Judgment card. If you want to catch that class, you can head over to my Stack. It's available to paid subscribers. But the thing we often articulate with judgment is the space by which we do not do it quickly, right? We don't do it quickly. We don't do it quickly because we often articulate and identify the space or the place by which we understand, and this is a continuation of what we were seeing in the headspace of the masculine. We don't judge quickly because we don't know everything, right? We don't judge quickly because we don't know everything, right? And you'll notice this, right? There are those who have that tendency. There are those who have those tendencies to move quickly in the directionality of judgment. And what do in the space by which they quickly judge? They destroy possibility, right? Like our judgment, utilized too flagrantly destroys energetic possibility, right? It's the space by which we often, it's the space by which we often, like the space by which we often ruin things before they energetically begin, right? Those modalities or those experiences that we often work through. And I feel like there's something important about the energy of the feminine learning to be more patient with the self. And that doesn't mean, and I like this too, because this is not speaking towards a feminine that feels the need to be energetically perfect, right? This is a feminine, I feel like this is a feminine that is working towards recognizing and identifying, what feels energetically supportive, like what feels energetically stabilizing, but also in the modality by which the energy themselves are working through the understanding of not being too hard on the self, right? Because this is the thing about it, right? Like the gift that we create for each other, the gift that we create for each other in partnership is easement, right? That's the whole, that's the truth of it. There are many things that there are many things that we aspire or desire, but the space by which, I feel like this is a lot of the feminine that understands that feeling of energetic, like the feeling of energetic easement is one that begins within so that you can find it without, right? Because when you start to become energetically gentle to the self, right? And that's not to say, and I want to describe this. The gentleness that we bring to situations isn't amplified or articulated upon heightened sensitivity. It's hard to be gentle, right? That's what we see with Eris and Chiron in retrograde to each other. It's a hard world. To be able to stay gentle in a hard world is one of the hardest things that we ourselves can do. But that the reason that we're able to do that is because when we're holding ourselves in a space of gentleness, we not only do we, like, the gift that we bring to others is the fact that that is something that we bring forth to others. Like, that's that our gentleness is a gift that others get to experience. And those that get to experience are those who have earned the vulnerability that they have found towards us, right? And that's why often, like, this is what's wild for a lot of feminine energy. There's energy that sees, like, feminine energy sees situations by which another person is potentially energetically jealous of a relationship that they have with another, and then failing to recognize and being like, why don't I get that energetic side of you? Because that vulnerability, right? That vulnerability is something that we bring forth with a sense of compassion and care and consideration, right? It is the energetic empathy that we extend to one another. And that's often why, and I feel like there's a little bit of this energy here, looking at these cards, like these double sevens with the judgment card. It's interesting because you put those double sevens together and you end up with an eight, right? Because it's working into the context of the energy that recognizes and is working to heal from any feelings of energetic comparison, because destroys comparison destroys experiences. And the modality, and this is what happens when we live our lives constantly, the worst illusion that was given to us is the space by which we feel the need to energetically compare ourselves to one another. Because when we're too busy comparing ourselves to each other, we fail to find the exquisite within us. So this is a lot of the energy of the feminine that is recognizing that quickness to energetically judge is often connected to that comparison point that will often speak towards a perfection wound that needs to be healed. The modality or the experience by which we recognize or identify upon what it is that we're trying to do better, so that we face the world with gentleness. Because when we face the world with gentleness, what do we often find there? Gentleness that is returned back towards us. Now, this brings us to the non-binary energy. Moving into the heart space of non-binary, we'll be utilizing the Smith-Waite Centennial deck. 3 cards, please. One, and I need to stress this too, because this is also very important. Do you see the parity that we have that's happening in these cards? We have judgment. I need to show you this. I just want to show you the connection points for those that are interested in the tarot. The heart space of masculine, we've got 7 of swords. Feminine, what do we have? 7 of swords. We also have a judgment card in the heart space of feminine. We've got a judgment card here in the non-binary energy, okay? Heart space right now. So there's a lot of alignment that we see. There's a heavy alignment day that we're moving towards. Continuing to get clarification in the heart space of feminine, we've got the temperance card in non-binary energy. We've got the temperance card in its reversal. We've got the Ace of Cups, which is sharing the same heart space in relationality to the Ace of Cups that we find in the masculine energy, and 10 of Wands in its reversal. What do we see that's happening right now with non-binary energy? You can sympathize, you can empathize something profoundly. Doesn't make it okay, right? Heightened sensitivity is a gift, but only if one holds hard it makes it harder, doesn't it? Right? Heightened sensitivity makes things harder because it requires us to be very intentional in relationality to where we hold our boundaries. And I feel like that's like, I keep on seeing that this is very, like, this is a lot of the work that the energy tries to effectively articulate and communicate, right? It's the energy, I keep on hearing like these three cards, like Ace of Cups tucked between a Temperance and a Reversal and a Ten of Wands. It's the energy that articulates the fact that they have to be extra careful with their heart space. And why does the energy feel that they need to be extra careful with their heart space? Because I keep on seeing that they recognize that they recognize that when we are in our authenticity, we are often energetically provocative to those, we become energetically provocative. And and here's the thing about it. There's healthy provocation and there's non-healthy provocation, right? When one is in a healthy space and one feels something provocative, you are energetically inspired by it. It is something that aspires to create something beautiful within the self. It is something that effectively sets one free, right? The ability to be like, that's what's so beautiful about going on the journey of healing, is when you feel energetically provocative. When you see something energetically provocative, it inspires something within you in the same modality and experience, right? It becomes something that feels energetically sacred. But when one is not in a healthy space, when one hasn't done their shadow work correctly, when one is still working upon the space of holding too tightly to one's anxieties and fears, right? Or working in the context of trying to navigate them, then those anxieties and fears that we energetically experience often create the space by which we feel provoked by another person's authenticity, the modality by which another person could literally not be doing anything, right? Could literally not be doing anything to us except simply existing, right? Except simply existing. And that experience by which another person hasn't, like, will work into the space by which they'll create the fabrication that another is doing something to them, failing to want to accept the fact that nobody's doing anything. It's just the space by which another person is feeling energetically provoked by seeing somebody embodying an authenticity that they energetically have denied themselves. And this is why it's important that we do that work to effectively clear ourselves of that, because those modalities or experiences, this is a continuation of what we understand in the realm of standards. Standards are standards only in the space by which you can explain by which one holds one. The problem with standards is that there are standards that are standards, right? And there are those who will try to claim that they're holding standards, but they're not standards. It's just trauma in disguise. It's the repetition of a traumatic cycle that one articulates as a standard. And the way you can usually tell the difference between a true standard is that a true standard is something that you are proud to hold. Okay? It's something that you are proud to hold. It's something that you talk to others about. That's why we call them standards, right? We call them standards because you're like, look, like you're like, you wave them around, you talk about them. You're like, I love this thing. Let's talk about it. Woohoo, right? But when it's not a healthy standard, right? What do you usually hear attached to an unhealthy standard? Because I said so, right? The modality or the experience by which we articulate or energetically amplify upon something that is often energetically calibrated into the space by which we ourselves are able to effectively articulate and the ability to effectively work ourselves from, right? And this is what's beautiful. We all have these modalities, right? We've all had those moments by which our trauma has tried to disguise itself as our standards. And usually in those modalities or experiences, we're like, oh, wait a minute, no, right? And we are curious about those things, right? We identify them, we recognize them, we work to energetically absolve and resolve them within ourselves. Because the way, and I keep on hearing, whenever you're not sure about whether your standard is a true standard, right? Something that the higher self aspires you to hold versus something that you need to work to let go and resolve of. Can you explain why it's a standard? Can you explain why it is important? The conversation of importance is the most important thing that we hold on to. The ability to articulate and define why something is an energetic standard helps us to determine what is a true energetic standard versus what is trauma in disguise. And the work, and this is the energy that does that work. Like look at the perpetual machine of the self within a lot of the non-binary energy that says that they do that work consistently, right? So that others don't have to, because that is the space by which we heal from experiences or situations by which we come into the space of effectively potentially projecting that pain onto those around us, right? That is the greatest gift that we can do as it relates to relationship and partnership, right? They do that effective work so that others don't have to. But it's not easy because I often see modalities or experiences by which energy has felt the need to effectively move away, like energetically move away from something. I keep wondering, like simply in the modality of another, simply in the modality of another that was not like, and I keep on hearing even here, like the space by which everything is possible, but so much as the work must be mutual. A lot of that energy kind of works into the space that those standards protect them, but often in the experience of those who have not healed their love feeling like love, because when we haven't worked through the space of our own energetic provocation, we often feel like they're healing from experiences by which another person aspired or told them that they wanted to move into a manifestation goal with them, but all they experienced instead was a place by which another person worked out their shadow work on another person. This brings us back to masculine energy and working through a lot of those modalities or the experiences of healing from the past. Can I get 3 cards, please? And we'll be utilizing for the unconscious of the masculine, the Smith-Waite Centennial deck. 1, 2, 3. We've got a cantilevered one. We've got a cantilevered one that's on top of the 7 of Swords. Cantilevered, yeah, cantilevered 2 of Swords. Justice card in its upright. And 3 of Cups. Yeah, 3 of Cups in its reversal. This is really interesting too, because the thing we see, like, and I keep on hearing this, and this is what's happening right now for a lot of the masculine energy, is working through the understanding. I just keep on hearing a healthy manifestation goal is one that is mutually shared. A healthy manifestation goal is one that is mutually shared. A healthy manifestation goal is one that is mutually shared. When we don't do the work, when we do the work in such a way by which, and it's interesting too, because I have to stress this, like 2 of Swords with a Justice card, like the 2 of Swords with a Justice card is almost like the space by which the inclination to put one's thumb upon the scale is what I keep on hearing. Like I keep on seeing, like that is often that is often what happens in relationality to a lot of the masculine energy, right? Like the modality by which I keep on seeing the like, and this is what we talk about. Like this is what we talk about with real chivalry, right? True chivalry, true chivalry is not the amplification of articulating to another, right? It's not walk this way, it's after you, right? It's not, I keep on hearing, it's not walk this way, it's after you, right? It's the observation of the energetic patience that we bring to circumstances or situations that identify or articulate upon courtesy, right? It's the modality or the experience by which we allow ourselves to effectively attenuate to things that allows the possibility of what could be possible to emerge, right? Because here's the funny thing with manifestations. You want to know the funny thing with manifestations is when we get really energetically driven upon things, right? Like when we get really energetically driven, when we're like really like it has to be this way, the universe says that's a shame because I was about to knock your socks off. Right? Right? When we're like, it has to be this way, the universe is like, if you insist, because they're like, I was about to knock your socks off, right? Right? Instead of being like the modality by which we learn to energetically relinquish control is the space by which we allow ourselves to be available to see how good it can be, right? We allow that context of possibility to emerge that is even beyond our own energetic comprehension, right? And working through that capacity, working through that modality, like those experiences or those observations, when we heal from when we heal from our need to control everything, we leave ourselves available to experience breathtaking, right? And so I feel like that's a lot of the energy that is working into the context of trust, and potentially even in the space by which they're learning to like heal in the context of trust. It's that space that almost allows the context by which, and I feel like the hard part about that is for a lot of that energy working through holding the past version of self with some kind of feeling. And this is what we talk about. This is why inner child healing is so difficult. Inner child healing is not the journey of forgiving who you were when you were 6. Inner child healing is healing from the observation of the person you were before you didn't realize that you didn't know everything, right? That's what inner child healing is. It's not the person you were when you were 6. It is healing from the experience of the person that you were before you didn't realize that you didn't know everything. And so that modality, right? Because this is often what we see. Like, again, go find a little child. Little child knows everything. Child's like, I know what I'm doing. Sure you do. Sure you do. Sure you do, buddy. Right? Like that is the inner child healing that we work upon. So we see that that's a lot of the energy that is leaving room for wonder to come in. And that's the journey of the inner child healing for masculine, right? It's not like I can do it. It's I don't know what I'm doing. It's not I can do it. It's I would like to find out. I would like to understand more, right? And that is the courtesy that we bring to the universe that allows the universe to kind of show us everything that is around us that we could not see before. Now, moving into the feminine energy, unconscious of the feminine, we're going to be utilizing the Tarot of the Divine. 3 cards, please. Queen of Wands. Now, this is important because these are cards that we see that are also in the masculine space right now. 4 of Swords in its reversal. And this is wild because now we've got, listen, there's a lot of cards here. We've got 2 4 of Swords. Feminine's got 2 4 of Swords. 2 4 of Swords. Same exact position. Okay? And bottom of the deck, final card for that, Ace of Coins. Wow, everybody's got a lot of aces today. So there's a lot of alignment that's potentially happening right now. Queen of Wands, 4 of Swords, Ace of Coins. And I feel like what's hard about that for a lot of the feminine energy is the understanding. I keep on getting this. The understanding that our vulnerability is a gift. And what's wild for a lot of the feminine energy, and I just keep on saying this, it's like, it's a lot of make it make sense. You cannot, isn't it amazing how those who will demand vulnerability from you, as if you could, as if vulnerability is the opposite of disassociation, right? As if one could just easily hit a switch and offer someone a cup of your vulnerability, as if you could, right? The thing about vulnerability is it takes 2. Vulnerability is an alchemical experience that we create with another person. And the modality by which, and you'll never get over this, right? And this is the hard part with feminine. There are those that will try to move away from feminine And they will try to say to feminine, you know what? You weren't vulnerable enough to me. You know why? You know why? You weren't vulnerable enough. If only you were vulnerable, I wouldn't have to energetically reject you like this, right? But that's what we see. That is the feminine that understands that when we observe, right? When we observe that type of energy in another person, can you imagine the context where you recognize that vulnerability is a gift? It is something that we build with another. It is something that there is nothing more precious on this earth than the energetic vulnerability that we create between one another. And those modalities and those experiences by which we do so, the energy working through, right? The modality by which the feminine does everything they can, but then the experience by which another person will, even in the space by which they're doing everything they can, right? They're firing on all cylinders. They're doing everything for everyone. And then someone would effectively come towards them and hold them in a state of energetic libel, like the space by which another person says that they're energetically liable to another because they did not give someone the vulnerability that they desired to have with them. Like, that is a lot of the feminine articulating and going, that is ridiculous. Like, that is the nature of a ridiculous experience. And then potentially comparing other feminine to other feminines, being like, look at that feminine, like, look at that feminine, look how vulnerable that one is. It's a shame you can't be that vulnerable. Right? Right? It's the understanding of the fabrication of vulnerability that in itself is a fabrication. That the ability to effectively work towards our exquisite is how we start to be vulnerable with ourselves. And that is the vulnerability that allows something to be energetically shared. But the modality by which another person has not resolved upon why others aren't vulnerable towards them, failing to be able to understand and do the work of understanding the hurdles that we experience, right? Like when we're in the modality by which we're comparing each other to one another all the time, or in the modality by which we're constantly casting judgment, right? You cannot go around, you cannot do two things at once. You cannot go around and judge everything, right? Everywhere you go, judging, and then go, why isn't anyone being vulnerable to me? Right? You can't go around judge. Why isn't anyone being vulnerable to me? Right? You can't inhabit those spaces at the same time. So it's a lot of that energy that we effectively see. That's the feminine that's working through those modalities and experiences. And what are they doing to effectively heal that? They're working to release, right? They're working to release that energetic feeling of navigating those modalities, right? They're holding, and when we start holding compassion to ourselves, we start working less onto the space of holding judgment towards things and being able to see things through the eyes of compassion. Four final cards right now, non-binary energy. We'll be utilizing the Tarot del Fuego for the unconscious of the non-binary. 3 cards, please. Ooh, hold on. Yeah, those are falling. I have a feeling I know what these cards are going to be. Yep, Devil card in its reversal. 10 of Cups in its reversal. Knight of Swords in its reversal. This is about entitlement. You know, it's very much a combination of what we see in the masculine and feminine zones right now. Bearing in mind, this is not based on gender, but what one feels most aligned to. When we're navigating, like the understanding, I'm just going to continue to articulate this because it's been coming up a lot. Entitlement is the modality and experience by which you see someone operating from a point of need, and you have the audacity to say that it's choice, right? This is energy that does not judge anything. Or I mean, here's the thing. It's not that it doesn't judge anything. It's a space that they do a lot of work. It allows the context of being able to understand. I keep on hearing the difference between judgment and energetic discernment. The difference between judgment and energetic discernment is the capacity and the ability to be able to tell the difference between having, I keep on hearing, having a firm, effective rule upon something versus understanding that every single experience is different. Every single experience is energetically different and unique. And when we work to understand things, we're able to energetically discern the things that we often are judgmental upon. And so I see that for a lot of that energy, like that ability, right? The ability to effectively articulate and amplify and I keep on hearing, keeping an open mind in the best way possible, right? Is very difficult because it allows the context, like, and I keep on seeing the space by which they often feel they have to navigate others' close-mindedness, right? And what do we see? What is the difference between open-mindedness and closed-mindedness? Open-mindedness. Open-mindedness is the opportunity or the understanding that our ability to effectively recognize and discern is something that requires the context of learning, right? It's the ability to energetically understand more. And that's why we see that, like, when we are quick to judge things, often that's when we should put our reading glasses on, is what I keep on seeing. Right? Like the modality by which, like, the modality by which we effectively come into the space by which we articulate, and because I keep on getting it's a continuation of the understanding between dislike and distaste. Okay, and now what is the difference between dislike and distaste? When you dislike something, okay, when you dislike something, or when you have a distaste for something, okay, there are different modalities in terms of things that we hold and how we energetically hold them. So when we dislike something, it's really important to be able to identify the reasons why we don't like it, because if you don't like things but you can't explain why, hello, you've just met your shadow work. Okay. What's that dark thing over there? I don't know. I don't go in there. That's my shadow work that I don't deal with, right? Like, what's that? What's that murky spot that I see, right? It's working into the space by which we navigate something. And go, "Argh! Why do you feel like that? Argh! But I know, but why are you making so much? Argh!" Right? Like, okay, I know you've got emotions, but can you explain them? Oh, I don't want to explain the emotions. I know you don't want to. Right? You got shadow work there you got to deal with. And understanding shadow work is just a very complicated word for being able to face the things that we are energetically averse towards. Because when we understand them, sometimes we go into the shadow work, we come out with actual things that we don't like. No, that's not okay. Here's a whole long list on why that is not okay. I have created a thesis to show you, to explain all of the reasons why this is terrible, right? Sometimes you go into the shadow and you pull out terrible things. Be like, here's a whole document in terms of all the things that are not cool there, right? That's great. You got a reason now. Sometimes you go and you go, you know what? I didn't find anything there. I found a lot of confusion. I found a lot of feelings I need to sort out. I found a lot of complicated stuff in there that I potentially need to work to heal, right? This is the work we do. It's messy. By its nature, it is messy. Being able to heal is effectively equivalent to getting one's hands dirty in the context of the self. The ability to work through something in such a way that one is able to identify and recognize the space by which we understand the nature of everything that exists within our heart. But that's the work that we do, because when we do that work so that others don't have to, right? Right? It's the modality by which we work through and energetically resolve upon things that allow ourselves to effectively do something even better. But I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy doing this work, those modalities or experiences, we've got double tens energy here, right? This is the energy that often feels that they've ended up in relationships. Like, that ability to do so sometimes can create the inclination of another person wanting to put their energetic burden upon someone, right? We've all been there. The heightened sensitivity that says, you're so sensitive, here, why don't you deal with these complicated feelings I have? You have empathy for it, right? Yeah, you know I'm a troubled soul. Here, why don't you take these troubles from me? We can't do that, right? Because all we do when we build into the context of relationships by which we put our troubles onto each other is often the ability by which another person amplifies, I just feel better and better healing from you. That's great. I feel worse and worse in the presence of you, right? The modality by which we hold each other, and the way that we hold each other best is that we make ourselves not too heavy to carry, right? The gift that is the agreement that we create between hearts, right? We are always there to hold each other, but we always do the work so that we are not too heavy to carry. And that modality, like working into that space, is often something that I see that the energy understands is the space by which they give themselves compassionate boundaries. Bottom of the deck on this reading, masculine, Tarot del Fuego, King of Cups, which is very interesting because we see that right now in the space of the feminine. So I see that that's a lot of the energy of masculine working through modalities or experiences by which that this is the energy that's working. I feel like this is a lot of the masculine right now, doing a lot of work in relationality to the heart space, being able to articulate or amplify something that they're energetically caring about. And I see that for a lot of that energy working through the feelings, like even in the space by which they feel the feelings, or they feel the, like you feel the aversion, but then you allow yourself to say, why am I so energetically angry about this? Right? Everything starts with the question of why, right? Not the space by which we immediately feel that good, like that exploitation, right? That temptation to just articulate upon our energetic distaste upon something, but to face that sense of distaste with a sense of compassion and inquiry and understanding, right? This is how we navigate the ick. Like, right? It feels icky when you first start to do it because it's a space by which you navigate the fact of saying, why does this make me feel energetically reactive? While we move towards feminine right now, and I keep on seeing like that is a lot of the energy of the masculine, recognizing the energy that creates. I keep wondering, there's this like false bravado that masculine had to create in terms of a shield, being like, I don't feel anything. No, why would I have to feel anything? You know what I mean? Like, it's not embarrassing to have feelings. It's beautiful. And the bravery to be able to express it. It's like the masculine realizes it's like a cup that's shared. Like the moment that masculine expresses the fact that they have feelings, they make it energetically okay for others to do so as well. Continuing to get clarification for feminine, we've got here, and we're utilizing the Smith-Waite Centennial deck, Strength, right? This is the feminine that's working into, like I keep on hearing, feminine energy. Your strength will make you distasteful to those that would prefer to see you energetically vulnerable. And the same energy that would prefer to see you vulnerable will then judge you and articulate to you that they're rejecting you because you're not vulnerable enough. Failing to understand that vulnerability is the hardest thing to do. It takes a lot of strength to be vulnerable. And the energy, often the irony of that, is energy that appreciates how strong we are, gets to see our most vulnerable sides. It's a beautiful, and this is why we heal from the illusion of rejection, because if another person is articulating the fact that they're moving away from us because we're not vulnerable enough, instead of going into the inquiry of saying, I wonder why that person's not vulnerable to me, then you've effectively understood the nature by which another person effectively faces the world, right? We're not demanding invulnerability. It's not something we can demand from one another. It's something that we allow for the space of nurturing to expound upon and to grow. So I feel like this is a lot of the feminine that's getting stronger in the space of holding their boundaries, not feeling energetically angry in the space that their boundaries move them away from situations and circumstances that would prefer to see them more vulnerable. Continuing to get bottom of the deck right now for non-binary energy, we've got here with the Tarot of the Divine, the Five of Cups in its reversal. You know, I feel like there's a lot of that energy, a lot of the non-binary energy works through, I keep on seeing a lot of non-binary energy works through experiences in the past. And what's difficult about it is they understand completely the nature and the force of trauma that effectively impacted them. It's not due to a lack of understanding. Often that's a hard part with trauma. Like sometimes we walk away from trauma in the articulation point of understanding that some things happen and we don't understand them, and that's the space of the trauma. But what the trauma that's even more difficult is the trauma by which you can articulate to someone every single minute detail in relationality to where another person's headspace was at. It's the understanding that someone can love you profoundly and still hurt you more than anyone has ever hurt you. Because when we haven't done the work to heal ourselves, the thing that we love, right? Our love does not feel like love, right? When we have had a lot of complicated emotions that we haven't processed and another person articulates that they care about us, that can often feel like the space by which we amplify the danger that we connect to love, because we do the work to heal ourselves so that the expression of love feels like love to those that experience it. Because if not, it's almost like the energy that almost says the issue has not been in being loved, being not being loved, but the question as to right? The love that is that feels like an aspiration. It feels like it heals rather than creates the anxiety or fear that we effectively feel within that we try to give to others outside of the self. I just see a lot of that energy that continues to do the work so that others don't have to. And they hold themselves. Like I feel like it's something about working into the context of the fact that it often creates those modalities by which they have a tendency of self-isolating. But even in the modality by which they're working on self-isolating, I see that is them kind of working to do better, to get out of their shell in relationality to being able to articulate the things that energetically upset them, in order to effectively heal better. Like I feel like that's a lot of the energy. Like that's a lot of the energy that's like working on their, like I keep wondering, that's a lot of the energy that's working on their own tendencies of non-confrontation in order to sit in presence in relationality to what is energetically bothering them and and feeling energetically safe to do so. That is where we find, that is our daily collective read for today. I want to thank you so much for being here and experiencing it. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading with me, you can book one on my site. Please keep in mind, if you book a private reading with me, it is a two-step process. You have to book the reading and you have to pay for the reading. Please make sure you do both if you would like to have that reading. Most importantly, please remember that I will never, ever, 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 ever reach out to you for a private reading. I will never DM you. I will never PM you. I will never slide into your inbox and tell you that I have a very important message that only I can deliver. The only way you can book a reading with me is if you book one on my site. So I would encourage you to do it there. A couple of updates before we move into personal readings today. First and foremost, I'd like to thank everyone who attended our recent class on the judgment card. Our next class will be held on Wednesday, January 15th at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We will be continuing our studies into the tarot with a focus on the World card. If you'd like to become a part of that tarot class program, all you need to do is head on over to my Stack and become a paid subscriber. Your paid subscription to my Stack is your ticket of entry into our live classes each and every month. You will also, as a paid subscriber, as a paid monthly subscriber, have access to over 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library Class Archive. It's not necessary to catch up. I'll be giving you an update on everything we've studied prior to beginning our next class, but the material is there to receive as you're ready to receive it. You'll also have access to a complimentary, you also have access to a one-on-one chat with me and the other students to ask any questions that you may have in relation to anything we've learned and studied thus far. And if you become a founding member to my Stack, not only will you receive a discount on the full year's worth of classes, you'll also have access to over 20 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library Class Archive. And you'll also have access to a complimentary one-on-one mentorship class with me, where I will meet with you personally to assess where you are on your own personal tarot journey and give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize those classes to the best of your advantage, moving towards your tarot goals going forward. One of the things I tried to do in these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's definitely something there for everyone. Don't let your lack of experience or your robust experience prevent you from joining us in these classes. And even if you don't become a paid subscriber, I would encourage you to follow me there to stay up to date on any new offerings or services. I also post my weekly newsletter there, which will let you know about my in-person events as well as my online live schedule. You'll also have access to my mystic meditation articles, which give you updates on what we've been seeing energetically in the cards. I just wrote one recently on this new moon that we just experienced. I also would like to invite you over to the Stack to learn more about a very special retreat that I will be hosting this August. I would like to invite you to join me in a study of the tarot in the place by which the tarot was first discovered and written about. We will be traveling to Rome, Florence, and Tuscany to sharpen our tarot skills while also understanding the culture and the history of the locations that allowed the tarot to effectively find a home where it could grow and flourish and thrive. You can find all of that information on my stack in relationality to that retreat. It'll be happening between August 8th through 13th, and I look forward to potentially seeing you there. I also want to let you know that on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorship classes. These are for any of my students seeking a more personalized educational experience with me. I take a very limited number of students for this reason, as those classes are focused on each individual's personal spiritual goals and journey work. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a weekly series, weekly or bi-weekly, as your schedule permits. Also, for my students seeking more consistent weekly tarot support, I'm very happy to offer weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute readings, weekly or bi-weekly, as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey. I'm also very happy to now offer dream interpretation readings, which can be purchased per dream or as a series. If you purchase the series, I would encourage you to start to keep a dream journal, as we will meet weekly or bi-weekly with that journal and utilize the tarot to understand the key themes and messages coming towards you in the dream space. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages, and we will do this again tomorrow. That is our daily collective read for today. Congratulations to Bridget. You got the highest gifter today, and congratulations to Avatar. You came in second, so you'll have an additional card in your reading. I'm going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through as I was reading. Grand Rising, Ryan, happy holidays to you as well. Yep, exactly. Oh, thank you as well, dear. And Mabs, good to see you. Tyrell, thank you for the follow as well. I know there are some perfection wounds coming up right now. There's a lot of projection happening right now as well. And Carol, thank you so much for the follow. Thank you for those hearts. And Clara, thank you for the follow as well. Hi there, Fly High. I'm happy to read for you on that, but please don't repeat the same question in the comments. It's not polite to those who are trying to communicate. If you want to get on the list, all you do is send the donation payment and you'll be added to the list. How are you doing today? I'm having a beautiful morning today, Sprinkle. And Trauma, yes, my son is progressing through my 8th, and last time that happened, oh my dear, I'm sending you so much support on that journey. Absolutely so much support. Thank you for being here and receiving these messages. Thank you, Skylar. Absolutely. Thank you for the help. Thank you for the help, Nikki. I appreciate you. Thank you, W2. And Testy, thank you for joining us. I'm happy to pull cards for you, Mitza. If you'd like to get on the list, these are donation-based readings. I also do free one-card readings for subscribers daily if you'd like to become a super fan. Thank you for the help, Bridge, Nikki. Yep. Absolutely, that part. Thank you for the heart. Witches, good to see you. And right into the exact vibe of the morning. So good to see you, dear. I hope you're having a great one. Guys, make sure to give Witches some love. Great reader as well. I can't say something. Reader supporting readers, hashtag. I can't say something else. Keep getting filtered. Oh, was there somebody here? Again, towards it's interesting that I was articulating upon a lot of that energy of projection. And I need to stress, there are a world of things that you could be focusing your attention on right now. And yet you made the energetic choice of coming into this particular space to effectively articulate and to cast judgment on things. And I think it's really telling, the fact that the majority of this reading was talking about the kind of the nature of judgment, or how to be conscientious about not casting judgment quickly. So I hope that whatever you needed to find here, you found. It's clearly triggering you. I will point out that this is not a place that you're energetically trapped in. You can choose to leave at your leisure, but you can also stick around. I've got one rule here, which is very simple. You have to be kind. If you're not kind, it's a simple rule. If you're not kind, I will have to go ahead and mute you. So thank you. And thank you for respecting the live. Grand Rising, good vibes. Good to see you as well, Dada. And thank you so much for sharing the live, Dada. How you doing, Estevan? Good to see you as well. And Moketsia, thank you for the follow. If I'm ever saying your name incorrectly, please feel free to correct me. Nemo, thank you for the follow as well. And Dada, thank you for sharing the live. Always appreciate when you guys share the live. Yeah, but you see, I need to point this out, and I can always find you guys, you have the same words that you like to utilize. You like to utilize the word salad. And I need to point out the word salad indicates words that do not mean anything. There's a difference between not understanding what is said versus hearing words and not like versus the space of word salad. Word salad is effectively the understanding of words that do not make logical sense in the space by which you put them together. So if you're going to utilize it, I'm okay with you utilizing it, but you might, if you don't understand, a better way of saying is speaking into the space by which you say, I don't understand what you're saying. But again, it's very clear that there's something here that you need. You're looking for energy to come back to you. There's energy here that's articulated that if you're not satisfied with being here, there's better ways to elicit attention if you need it than coming into a space and being confrontational instead of just asking the questions that you may have in relation to what you're seeing and what you don't understand. Thank you so much, Avatar, for the potato. I appreciate you. And thank you as well, Bridget. All right, there we go. And there it is. Again, you were given multiple observations of effectively having the opportunity to go ahead, and then you had to speak ill against. You had to start objectifying people. It's absolutely unacceptable. And you've been reported. Thank you so much. And again, I hope you learn to respect those around you. Apologies for that, my friends. Yeah. Apologies, guys. I just saw that. I'm sorry about that. I'm supposed to be driving. Yep. Thank you, guys. And thank you so much, Cat Scratch, for the follow. Thank you, Shady, for the follow as well. Yeah, I know. I mean, listen, I told you it is kind of this type of energy right now. I think it's very telling that we were having a reading on judgment and someone was coming in very quickly to do so. Okay. I apologize for that. And I apologize if their statements offended anyone. Exactly. How are you doing today, Prince? Yeah, I'm trying to improve. Oh, welcome. Hi there, XH. Well, I hope again, I think you're doing a great job. If you're trying to improve your English, you wrote it great. You wrote, I'm trying to improve my English. Well, very well understood. You're so welcome. Bridget, yeah, you can absolutely hold your reading. Yeah, of course. And we got to 50K, guys. Thank you for helping us get to 50K so early. I understand your accent very well, but when I face others, it felt tough. Do I have an accent? Do I have an accent? But thank you. I'm glad you understand me. I hope you can visit. Excellent. Oh, welcome from Indonesia. Thank you for the follow, XH. Yeah, I apologize for that. Good. And thank you, Dada, for sharing the live. Always appreciate when you guys share the live. Thank you for those gifts, Laura. I'm practicing. Oh, thank you. Continue. Yep. Your accent voice is clear to me. Oh, thank you. We're from the US. And Elena, thank you for the follow as well. I have not been to Indonesia. Oh, thank you for the roses. I appreciate that. Excellent. All right, friends. And thank you again. All right, we're going to get started. So if anybody wants to get on the list right now, the list is open. It's a great time to get on the list. If you'd like to get on the list, you will be the third person read for. It's 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more. 4 cards for a donation of 23 or more for my subscribers, Binks and my Lio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I don't read for across these apps, pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. But before we get started, we are going to do the 50K giveaway. Hi there from Huntington. Welcome, Elena. Excellent. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I can see that. Thank you, Nikki. The main thing she taught me, being given my whole life, time to receive gracefully. That's beautiful, Dada. And thank you for being here, and thank you for being a part of this collective. I appreciate you. All right, we are going to do the 50K giveaway. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to think of a number right now between 1 and 55. First person I see that posts the number will get the free reading. First person I see Not the first person to post it. Sometimes I see things in a different order than you guys post them. No, no, no. Mm-mm, 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 mm-mm. No, no. No. Oh, did I pick a good one? Oh, Nikki, you got it. Congratulations, dear. That'll be available to you tomorrow. In the meantime, if anybody else wants to get on the list right now, the list is open. You will be the third person read for. 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more. 4 cards for a donation of 23 or more for my subscribers. Links in my bio. There are 2 things I do not read for on these apps, pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. We do here, for anybody interested, highest priority messages from spirit, life path, mediumship, dream interpretation, angelic guidance, animal spirit guide readings, pet readings, akashic, and mind, body, spirit. If you have information that you feel is relevant for the purposes of our reading, if you have a dream that you would like interpreted, or a past life that you would like more information on, you can include that information on the notes when you send the donation. You can also post it in our subscriber only disco channel in the appropriate channels. That said, the first person that we are reading for today is going to be good vibes. Good vibes, if you're here, can you respond in all caps? Let me know if you would like a general reading or if you have a specific question that you would like me to answer. And as I mentioned before, and before we get started, we are going to warm up those intuition muscles with an intuition check. One moment, please. Perfect. And just reading over the comments. What do you mean how? Oh, well done, Avatar. Yes. Get what? Yes, Psychic Nikki strikes again. Laura, to get on the list, all you do is to send the donation and you can be added to the list. Have a great day, Bridget. Yep. Oh, interesting. You used to do the cards when you were younger. I've got you good. We're doing a life path now. Guys, I pinned up good. But before we get started on Good's reading, let's warm up those intuition muscles with an intuition check. I've got the animal spirit guide cards here. We're going to count back from 10, and when we get to 1, I will reveal the card. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We got the stag. Well done, good vibes. You're on a roll, man. Well done. All right, we'll do it again after the next reading. I love when the person getting a reading always gets the card correct. No, and Sprinkle, you can always go ahead and guess if you're on the place where I keep the videos. It's eligible there too. I'm not particular in relationality to where we find the winner for that. Yep, absolutely. And also just a reminder to anybody joining us across the other apps, you can also get on the list today via my tree that has Binks in it in my bio. I never guess that usually. Well done, dear. Okay, perfect. And I am going to pin you. That's me. I'm pinning up. I'm trying to pin you up. All right, I am pinning up good vibes here. Guys, make sure to give good vibes some love. We are doing a life path reading. Can I please get 4 cards for good vibes? Highest priority. Who is this person that's causing a pain in your neck? Who is it? Because it's only started bothering me since we started this reading. I was like, who is this person? So let's look. Yeah, like, and it's been like it's interesting. Like, I gotta tell you, um, it's not you do not owe another person. You don't owe another person like you don't owe another person niceness if they're insisting, if they're being insistent on something. You know, you got another card coming through on this reading too. I need to draw. You don't owe you don't owe niceness. Oh, Lord. Healthy energy does not require us. Um, Healthy energy does not require us to repeat ourselves. Healthy energy respects our wishes. It's not polite to insist. But you'd be surprised how someone will be like, you know, someone that's why like someone will be like the rudest person, right? Rudeness comes in many forms. And one of the cruelest is someone who tries to be effectively insistent while trying to articulate the fact that they're trying to be nice, and then having the audacity of saying like, why are you being so mean, right? Like and like the type of energy goes, oh, there's no reason to get upset, and then trying to articulate upon the fact that you're being energetically unreasonably upset about something. Repeating ourselves is upsetting because it's the observation of effectively another person not taking not taking into consideration something that we've energetically said. And I think that there's something really important about that, because I feel like I keep on hearing, if someone comes back to you like that, I want you to reply and to say, refer back to our last conversation. Don't get upset. Refer back. Write it down. Refer back to our last conversation. But refer back to our last conversation. But refer back to our last conversation. Right? I feel like there's something important there, because I feel like I see someone around you, and you can't get it. You can't get both ways. You do not get all the privileges of a relationship with none of the direction. You do not get all of the privileges of a relationship with none of the direction. But somebody who misses having access to you will try. Someone who misses having access to you will try. And I feel like this is what I'm seeing in relationality to this, right? And what will someone say in that modality? Why? I didn't know you were going to be so mean to me. It's not mean, Like I feel like this is you recalibrating in the space of someone being clear to you as to what it is that they effectively want, like aspire to have with you, right? Like this feels like I can see a situation. Like I can see a situation of someone being like, why, like I keep on hearing, this is why we articulate that we can't be friends with someone that we aspire to have an intimate connection with, right? Because it would be a fabrication. Is what I keep on, it would be a fabrication. Like it would be a fabrication. But I see somebody, like I almost see somebody who's trying to like to downshift something, right? And I just keep on hearing, don't let somebody downshift and be like, oh, I thought that we were like that is like you can say to someone, you are not going to sit on the shelf of their existence waiting for them to change their mind in relationality to what it is that they want with you. I keep on hearing you have to be firm about this. Healthy direction or nothing at all here. Because the hard part about this is, and I need to point this out, there's something really important you have to understand. Okay? There are those, like there are those, there is healthy direction in relationality to something. We don't need to effectively be completely like on like we have to we always have a manifestation conversation sooner rather than later, because we are never in more danger than when someone says, let's just see where this goes. Everybody has a direction they want something to go in, right? Like the modality by which another person articulates the fact that they don't have a direction. Everybody has a direction that they want something to go in, right? And so I feel like I see a situation for you by which, like, and I keep on hearing this too. If you asking for somebody to give you a heads up in terms of what you can really reasonably expect from them, in terms of like even as simple as to like when you're going to see them again, right? Like it should not, you are not on call in another person's experience. You are not on call in another person's experience. So I feel like there's something really important about that, particularly and especially if this is some kind of like something I'm seeing here, where somebody like articulated upon their lack of readiness in relationality to a relationship, right? Like, don't let somebody be going through the same space of being like, I don't feel like I'm ready for a relationship, but I'd like to be friends with you. Oh, and then like, if things like, I feel like I see somebody being like, oh, if things happen, but we talked about this. Like none of this wiggly territory that I'm seeing, because that's literally someone saying, we have a friendship that when I'm in the mood, like when I feel energetically inclined, becomes something more. But then if we try to, but then if you try to articulate it, it's them articulating saying, oh, we talked about this. You know what I mean? Like, no, it's not like, yeah, we talked about, like, that is them saying, we talked about the fact that I have boundary issues, right? Is what I keep on seeing. So just be conscientious about that. You're not, that is, and I keep on seeing this too. Like, I feel like it's somebody articulating upon the fact that they energetically miss you, because of course, why would they? Like, of course they would. Like, I keep on seeing, you know, like I see you like moving in the direction of energetically flourishing upon something. And I almost see the space by which I feel like you couldn't have been clearer in relationality to the direction that you want someone to move towards. And I keep on hearing it should not be a deliberation, right? Like you shouldn't have to get on the phone with someone and help guide them through their fears. They need to understand that love makes us fearless, right? Like that's all there is to it. Bottom of the deck. Yeah. Like count the days here. Remember how much time. Remember how much time you gave someone to be able to move towards a manifestation goal for you, because I see you moving towards that manifestation goal. And if this is some kind of circumstance or situation, it almost feels to me like somebody didn't believe you in terms of how good it could have been between and especially I keep on hearing, if someone can't be honest, like their inability to be honest is not your fault, that's their fault, is what I keep on hearing. Because the wild thing is, especially like make it make sense. Someone who had a tendency of I just need to, I feel like you've got a guide saying this. Somebody who has a tendency of going behind our back on things that we would have been perfectly fine with. That is because they were scared about making the relationship balanced. Right? You want to make it make sense? That's why that's how it makes sense. Right? It has to be reciprocal. And if they were, I keep wondering, if they weren't being honest on things they knew you would have been fine with, it's because they were afraid of giving you that reciprocity. Thank you so much for having that reading with me, dear. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common. And that's what I keep on getting with this, like, this is where that pain, like that's the pain, like that's that pain I'm getting there. Thank you for having that reading with me, dear. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. We are doing personal readings right now. If you would like to get on the list is open. It's 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more. 4 cards for a donation of 23 or more for my subscribers. Links in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I don't read for across these apps, pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. I'm going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through as I was reading. How are you doing today, Addie? I hope you're having a beautiful day. And thank you for also participating in the intuition check, Skylar. And just reading over the comments that came through as I was reading. Very funny paradox. Yeah, they do not like the Aries fire. I've stopped repeating myself though. I mean, but here's the thing. There are those that would love that, you know? Like I see energy that would just be over the moon about that fire. Yeah, referring back to our last conversation, Clocked. Thank you for tapping XH, that part. Thank you, Nikki. Yeah, because I've set boundaries and then it becomes me. It's not you being mean, is what I keep on seeing. I feel like it's somebody who's like, I keep on hearing they don't get relationship privileges, right? Like I feel like it's almost somebody being like, why have you changed? Be like, because we're not in a relationship anymore. You don't have access to that part of me. Yeah. You're welcome. Have a great day, XH. Like, why am I on this ship with you if you can't tell me where we're going? Exactly, exactly. I'm honoring myself over their lack of wanting to meet my needs. Sending you support on that journey. Good. It starts with a sort of. Hi there, E. Yeah, like you can't leave, by the way. Yeah, exactly. That's my ex that just put me in the friend zone. Yeah, 2026 is mine. Everything I desire desires me back. I do not wait around. Tap to claim. Power dynamics. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. My neck is in a lot of pain. Thank you for confirming. I make sure that you're hydrating a lot, is what I keep on saying. But it almost feels to me like that is the energy of someone asking from the impossible from you, which is not is the space by which another person like being like, oh, I didn't expect things to change. Being like, of course things have changed. Like we're not energetically together anymore. You know? It's like it's not somebody who's looking at you to have some kind of open door in your life. Hi there, Guer. Happy to read for you on that kind. If you'd like to get on the list is open. Chung, thank you so much for the follow. If I'm ever saying your name correctly, please, by all means, feel free to correct me. We are going to continue right now. If anybody wants to get on the list today, it's a beautiful time to get on the list. You will be the second person read for. It's 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more. 4 cards for a donation of 23 or more for my subscribers, Binks in my Lio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I don't read for across these apps, pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. Hi there, Geety. Thank you for the follow. The next person we're reading for today is BB. BB, if you're here, can you respond in all caps? Let me know if you would like a general reading or if you have a specific question you would like me to answer. And we're also at 62.5K likes. When we get to 100K, I will be gifting a reading back to the collective. So make sure you're tapping that screen and we will get to 100K in no time. Thank you for letting me know where the reading is, dear. And before we continue, let's warm up those intuition muscles with an intuition check. I've got the animal spirit guide cards here. I'm going to count back from 10. And when we get to 1, I will reveal the card. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We got the crane. Thank you, guys. We'll do that again after the next reading. I'm also going to pin up BB here. Guys, make sure to give BB some love. Also a wonderful reader as well. Reader supporting readers. All right. And let me just pull up in the disco. Just a reminder, if you have information that is relevant for the purpose of our reading, if you have a dream that you would like interpreted, or if you have a past life you would like more information on, you can include those notes in the payment when you send the donation. You can also post it in our subscriber only disco channel in the appropriate channels. BB, got you. Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Okay. Can I get 4 cards, please? Two more. You have to focus on the manifestation goal, is what I'm saying. You have to focus on the manifestation goal. And I think you have to have a conversation with counterpart in relationality to what that manifestation goal is. If there's a manifestation goal in relationality to something being positive and restorative on the other side of what's happened, it starts with navigating the discomfort, right? It starts with navigating the discomfort. And that is not to say, right? That is not to say that you should feel forced in any way, shape, form, or capacity to have to energetically endure or be in the energetic presence of something or someone that has made you feel less than energetically supported. But I think that the way to kind of move through this experience is to have a conversation with counterpart in relationality to what the manifestation goals are. And and the thing about it is we can do this, like we can do this in the experience of navigating or articulating upon I keep on hearing like what it is. Like we do this in our relationships, but we can also do it in relationality to the dynamics of the relationships that surround ourselves. So I feel like one of the things that the guides are, and I'll show you these cards because I know that you'll understand them profoundly. You know, I think one of the things that will help right now to help guide in terms of like how to move through this is I think you should get a pen and paper. I think you should get a pen and paper out. And I think you should write down, right? Like write down unclouded. Give yourself some time to meditate and just write down unclouded what that ideal future scenario would be. Like what is it? What could you effectively see the realistic shape of that relationship being given, I keep on hearing, given what has energetically occurred, right? And I keep on hearing, try to remove, I feel like I think that the best way, I feel like it's saying to me, like, it's interesting because they're bringing forth something I haven't, they're asking you to do a lost and found. Okay. They're asking for a lost and found. So a lost, right? A lost is the observation of what you potentially aspired or desired, right? The manifestation goal of what you had ideally hoped would be the energetic absolution point in terms of what the future could have been. The found is what would feel energetically sustainable in order to facilitate what is possible, right? And I want you to understand, and this is why you're going to do the lost and found, because we can get to the lost by securing upon the found, right? When we build into the space, like the one thing you want to articulate is recognizing it. And there's something to be said if you say to another person right now, all hope is lost, right? If there's a modality or experience by which you say there is no possibility of energetic healing that can happen given what has energetically occurred, then even in the modality of that, being able to kind of do that lost and found, being able to articulate the ideal energetic outcome in relationality to what you can reasonably expect, what would feel energetically sustainable or supportive. I just keep on getting that there's something important there, but not just, I keep hearing not just important. What you're trying to articulate is, and again, this is you kind of working to clear the heart space, because by writing down what was lost is the observation of working through something in the modality by which you can aspire and say, like, this is what I hoped I would find here. Like, this is what this is what I'd hoped for. Like, this is what I'd hoped it would look like. And even in the space by which you can see it, to help you recognize the differentiation between what you had effectively hoped or aspired for versus what it is that you're trying to effectively recognize would be progress. And I need to point out, the problem with progress is nothing can progress unless we allow ourselves to navigate some discomfiture, right? Like, that's what's so hard about it. Like, I keep on hearing, like, the space that you find yourself now, it's understanding that there's no there's no productive territory that is not going to be somewhat uncomfortable. But this is what I feel like, this is your portion, right? And I know it's hard because I know it's energetically unfair, right? Understanding that often having to navigate others' projections put us in unfair situations, right? That modality by which you recognize and say, like, look, I'm going to show you that there is something that we can navigate here, right? Like, the ability for you to effectively articulate and identify and say, like, look, I know that this is uncomfortable for you. It's uncomfortable for me too. This is what we do when we care about each other. We work through the energetic discomfort, right? We do that work. And even in the modality by which we work through the discomfort, right? And I feel like I keep on hearing something too. Think about testing waters, right? Like, I keep on getting the message. Um, Navigating a space by which you say to the self that you can do the work to test waters, but you don't have to imbibe something that feels like it's not energetically supportive to you, right? Like, the modality by which you can allow yourself to be fortified when you're energetically testing waters, right? The experience by which you're navigating through something and you're allowing the space by which you're feeling the energetic discomfiture. But not to the experience, like not beyond the space by which another person is not being energetically respective to you, right? So I feel like that is what I feel like those two modalities are coming through heavily in terms of navigating the circumstance, which is one, think about, like, take a moment to contemplate doing that lost and found reading that the right, like situation that I articulated, right? Writing down like the space by which of what you hope to find versus now dealing with the reality of what would be reasonable to be able to energetically expect that would allow something to be sustainable. And hopefully, with time, seeing if there's a space by which those two paths can merge, while also doing the work to understand what testing the waters would look like to you, right? But also understanding the difference between, I keep on hearing, testing the waters does not necessitate you navigating something that you shouldn't have to, right? It should not require you navigating being disrespected or not being energetically appreciated, right? Testing the waters is you coming into a space of showing your energetic strength by saying, like, I'm doing the work and being in an uncomfortable situation, and then they proportionately have to do the work of being energetically respective to you to show the fact that they're willing to meet you halfway. Bottom of the deck on this reading. Yeah, it's hard, right? Like the five of pentacles. The five of pentacles in its reversal is, I feel like there's something important in navigating um like a deep abandonment wound here. Like it feels like it's triggering for reasons in the past, and I'm not sure what those past reasons are, but I feel like I'm going to say this, and I think you're going to understand. This is what we talk about. Like, this is what we mean when we talk about turning the other cheek, right? Turning the other cheek is the space by which we say to another person, I'm not gonna slap you back. Like, that's what we mean. That's what it means. It doesn't mean you stick around and get slapped, right? It doesn't mean, right? It doesn't mean that you have to stay somewhere and get your slap handed to you. It does not require that. It's the space by which you take a moment and say, I'm not sinking, I'm not wrong person, right? It's the space by which you say to somebody and say, I'm going to give you another chance, right? Like, that's what we effectively see. And I keep on hearing, remember, you can turn the other cheek and you can keep walking, right? That is the modality by which we effectively energetically remember who we are, because it's the context by which we observe and don't absorb. And we allow we but that does not require us to feel like we have to be in spaces by which that are not energetically respective to us. And I'm sending you so much support on that journey, because I know how energetically difficult that is. And I keep on hearing, ultimately, and if there and it's okay to say, like, if there's been something that feels like it's too disrespective, it's okay to say to someone, like, I don't know if that's going to be possible, but then if not, talk about what is, right? If it feels like it's a bridge too far, what would be an operable bridge, right? Thank you so much for having that reading with me. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. We are doing personal readings right now. If you would like to get on the list is open. You'll be the next person read for. It is 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more, 4 cards for a donation of 23 or more for my subscribers. Links in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read for across these apps. Those are pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. We are also at 66.8K likes. When we get to 100K, I will be gifting a reading back to the collective. So make sure you're tapping that screen, and we will get to 100K in no time. I'm going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through as it was reading. Hi there, Jackie. There are, yes. Excellent. Wonderful. And thank you, W2, for those as well. Yes. Hold on, just reading over. Yeah, I see. Thank you for confirming. I will do that. You're welcome, BB, and sending you support on that journey. Really, truly. Hi there, dear. All right, my friends, we are moving into one card readings for subscribers. If you are a subscriber who would like a card pulled today, you can go ahead and put your question in the comment. Oh, thank you, Jackie. If you would like to become a subscriber and receive a one card, all you need to do is become a super fan. Your super fan status will make you eligible for a one card reading. And if you'd like to get on the list for today for a full reading, the list is open. It is 3 cards for a donation of $29 or more. 4 cards for a donation of $23 or more for my subscribers. Links in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read for across these apps: pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. I got you, BB. Highest good. This card was coming through heavy in your reading, right? It's working through. It's working through the healthy manifestation is the identification of having the conversation with another in relationality to what is energetically possible. Bottom of the deck, yeah, is like, right, like this is the hurdle around that, right? Because look at these 2 cards together. Right? Sometimes, sometimes it's hard because it's not necessarily working towards the ideal circumstance, but working through into the space of what, like, not ideal, but what is reasonable. And I keep on hearing reasonable steps lead to ideal outcomes. Write that down. Reasonable steps lead to ideal outcomes. Nikki, highest priority, please. We've got the King of Swords in its reversal. So I feel like this is working through circumstances or experiences by which you're being able to identify and recognize how, I keep on getting, like, working into the space of holding empathy for another's energetic comfort. But also I keep on seeing, like, like working into, I keep on hearing, like, working into the comfortability of helping another. I keep on hearing, like, helping another understand how someone feels can often allow the energetic healing to occur, right? The modality or experience by which we build empathy, by being able to articulate to another, like, what the shape of that work is. Yeah, especially with the 9 of Wands in its reversal. I feel like I see, I feel like I see, um, I feel like I see some kind of circumstance or experience that is amplified and articulated upon, like, I keep on getting the difference between, like, the discomfort we feel, that we are validated to feel, versus the discomfort that we hold towards things, is the observation of what we need to put our shadow work upon, right? It's not about, navigating another's discomfort if they can't explain why they feel energetically uncomfortable. And I feel like I keep on hearing that the nice thing about true discomfort is that true, like, healthy discomfort is always fortified by a healthy conversation, right? It's the space by which we are able to articulate upon something that allows something to be able to be better. So I think that there's something really important in relationality to that, particularly and especially as it relates to you helping another person understand like the feelings that they feel validated is like someone having valid feelings versus someone having feelings that require valid that are looking at another to feel validated in feeling something is different. Yeah, especially animal spirit guide. Yeah, the cat energy, right? Um, it's not like I feel like making sure making sure that another person is making sure that another person is navigating situations with a sense of courtesy is the observation of being able to recognize or identify. I just keep on seeing how we effectively identify that we're doing something, but not just how we're doing something, what we're working on doing better is what I keep on getting. Like, especially with that cat energy, like, it's not, I keep wondering, it's not enough just to be present, but the ability of allowing oneself the state or space of being the state or space of being energetically present is effectively identifying what it is that another person is working to understand more, right? Like someone being open to someone being open to the possibility of what can change. Thank you, dear. Chrissy, one card regarding connection, please. We see I've got the Temperance card here. So this is effectively speaking towards, I feel like this is speaking towards situations or circumstances by which, like, creating the space by which you're effectively able to identify. I keep on hearing healthy energy prioritizes you and wants the same things as you. So your ability to effectively articulate upon what you aspire for in partnership will tell you everything you need to know about the condition of an energetic connection. Bottom of the deck. Yeah, as particularly and especially with that judgment card in its reversal. Like the judgment card in its reversal um doesn't it feels to me like don't feel like you're going on some kind of like back and forth roller coaster ride with another person as to whether or not they want to be in relationship, right? We either want the same things that we do or we don't, right? It shouldn't, if you are in doing the work to be able to articulate what that is, it's okay for somebody to meet you in that modality. Animal spirit guide. Yeah, particularly with the blackbird energy, right? Like a lot of that energy that I'm effectively seeing there is I keep on hearing like something about another person caring about you out loud, right? Not like I don't know like why I'm getting like some kind of energetic discernment in relationality to sharing. Like I keep on hearing like no energy that articulates that something about you being together with them is something that you have to keep under wraps, right? It says to me like out loud, like not only you when you prioritize energy that prioritizes you, but the space by which another person eagerly energetically shares that connection. Ava, one card on how I can channel past life self to be more productive. We've got the Four of Cups in its transverse here. So I feel like there's something important. Like I feel like there's something important with that Four of Cups in its transverse. In relationality to, and I want to, like it's saying to me that there's a lot of there every time I read into the past life, there's a lot of stayed energy there, right? There's a lot of energy there that effectively articulates or amplifies upon like the anxiety point in relationality to um, there only being like one particular path towards something is what I keep on hearing. And I feel like the gift that you're bringing into the present life, yeah, is like the fact that like there's adaptability, right? Right? Like the observation that you recognize that there are many different ways to effectively move towards an energetic outcome is what I keep on seeing. Animal spirit guide. Yeah, like that's the thing I keep on getting here. You know, especially with that fox energy. Because I feel like the transcendent point between a past version of self and a present version of self has to do, I keep on hearing it has to do with that point of energetic adaptability. Like what it is, I keep on getting like what it is that, and it's interesting, like I'm here, like the space, the present version of self is healing from the space, like the myopic point of view of the past self that felt like there was only like one path forward and everything else led to energetic disaster, versus I almost see like the space of the present that articulates the fact that there are many different ways to get to a certain modality or to a certain energetic location is what I keep on seeing. Like something in relationality to that in terms of your adaptability is building into empathy for the self, but also empathy for understanding others' journeys is what I keep on getting. One card on their energy towards you for good, please. We've got the Two of Wands in its reversal. And I feel like the Two of Wands here in its reversal is working into, like it's working into the experience of identifying and recognizing, like I feel like, I don't know why, like it almost feels like somebody who's in hermit mode, you know? Like I see somebody who doesn't doesn't know how to talk to you about something, you know? Like it's like, I don't know why, it's like they're having, yeah, especially with the Judgment card. um I don't know if there was like an argument between you and them, but I feel like, I almost feel like somebody's dealing with the fact that they can feel the fact that your energy has changed around them, you know? Animal spirit guide. Yeah, especially with the horse. You know, like I think that I feel like I'm seeing something there in relationality to somebody who doesn't misses, like they're very energetically sentimental in terms of what they effectively had with you or what you have effectively shared. But like I almost see somebody like looking at you in a way that they're just like, they're almost like blown away by you. You know what I mean? Like it's like I feel like they like, I don't know, it's like I don't know if you found your confidence in something, but like I feel like it's something by which they're viewing you in some kind of breathtaking capacity. Hmm. Oh, you did, Esteban. I apologize. I didn't see you get on the list. I'll be happy to add you, dear. No, we can do you today. You're welcome, Nikki. And Desire, thank you for the follow. Hold on a moment. So anyone who's a subscriber, please hold right now on the one card readings. We have another personal coming through. And Hardy, thank you for those gifts, dear. Hope you're well today. Hi there, M. Welcome. Good to see you. And welcome from China. How are you doing today? Yeah, we've been having those convos. Esteban, I apologize. I hadn't seen you get on the list, but I've got you on the list now. You're welcome. Nope, you're good. Hi there, Mary. Phoenix, thank you for those gifts. One card on finances right now for Julia. I feel like this is you this is you. I feel like this is you branching out or like finding multiple different avenues is what I keep on hearing. I just keep on hearing multiple streams. Think about multiple streams. Yeah. Judgment card, like multiple streams allow for the space by which if something isn't working, like if something isn't great, like you've got something else to effectively identify or land upon is all I keep on hearing. Yeah, especially blackbird energy, right? Like it's giving me a little bit, it's giving me a little bit of this energy of seeing you like popping around doing different like popping around doing different things, but all like keep on hearing like but all towards the same direction. You're welcome, Chrissy. Cloud, thank you for the follow. No, that's a hard pass. No one wants to play it straight. I don't think that that's effectively I have to disagree with you, Phoenix. I don't know. I don't think everybody wants the energetic spotlight or to dim yours, you know, and that's what we mean about letting go, like not letting the past affect how we perceive the present, being able to navigate a situation with a sense of proportionality, like make sure that you're holding compassion. What's ahead of you is better than what's behind you. How are you doing today, Fig? Good to see you. It's been a minute. I hope you're well. Yes, no argument, just the shift of what we are to one another. You're welcome, good. How you doing today, Fig? Grand Rising T. Claire, one card, highest party. And guys, please hold on any more one cards. We've got a reading, a personal reading coming through. Highest party for Claire, please. You know, I feel like there's something important there in relationality to, I feel like there's something important there in relationality to, how do I describe this? You know, it's weird. Like, it's saying to me, like, you are not, I don't know why I keep on hearing, like, you are not a safe place between relationships for another person, is what I keep on seeing. Yeah, you know, often, and I need to point this out, like, this almost feels like the type of energy, you know, and we talk a lot about this, like, the space by which, the space by which we articulate upon our problems with partnership outside of relationship can usually be the space by which we see the energetic problem that was effectively happening in the time that we were in relationship with someone. You know, I keep on hearing um, healthy relationships, like healthy relationships don't require confidants, is what I keep on hearing. Like the modality by which another person comes towards you to articulate upon like a difficulty that they're experiencing in relationship, you know, I feel like it's almost you having to say to another person, you know, I feel like it's almost you saying like, look, I can't do it for you, but this is like, you know, how, like this is how you effectively you should talk to them about it. Like, you know, like that's often why we articulate this is what I keep on seeing. Animal spirit guide. Yeah, no confidant, like no confidant energy in relationality to another person, like working into the space of their own energetic decisions towards what it is that they aspire to do, right? Like, I feel like that's important. Like, even in the modality by which another person says, like, well, you said something, right? I keep on hearing, like, we look for support in relationality to our decisions. We don't build into the space by which we blame another person for making them for us, is what I keep on hearing. Multiple streams. Yep, thank you. Oh, excellent. I'm glad that that was in alignment to your manifestation goals. Avatar, hold on, I see you, dear. You got 2 cards coming in. Yep. No, you don't have to worry, dear. If you can let me know. Questions on this go. Thank you for letting me know. Okay. And bear with me a moment. No, listen, the term that you're articulating, Phoenix, undermining, like, I feel like often those modalities by which we experience that, we can observe, not absorb, right? But I keep on hearing, remember, it's not everyone. Not everyone is like that. I know it's hard when we've experienced it, but there are good people out there, you know? All right. I'm doing well today, Em. How are you doing? All right. And we are now reading for Esteban. Just bear with me a moment, please. Okay. And before we continue right now, let's do an intuition check. I've got the animal spirit guide cards here. And if anybody else wants to get on the list right now, it's an absolute wonderful time to get on the list. You will be the second person read for 3 cards for a donation of $29 or more. 4 cards for a donation of $23 or more for my subscribers, Binks and Lio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I don't read for across these apps, pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. I'm going to count back from 10, and when we get to 1, I will reveal the card. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We got the adder. We'll do that again after the next reading. Okay. And I'm going to take a moment to read over the comments. Just bear with me a moment. Em, I'm happy to read for you. These are donation-based readings. So if you would like to get on the list, all you need to do is send the donation. I'll be happy to add you to the list. Binks and Lio. Okay. Oh, Fig. Okay, thank you for waiting. I appreciate that. And thank you as well, Bewitched, for the follow. All right, and I'm going to pin up Esteban. Make sure to give Esteban some love. Okay, can you help me understand the energy around a particular individual? They came back strong. Trying to explain the distance was because, okay, of a breakdown, but they're inviting me to gatherings. I don't know if I can trust or if my own neurodivergence is overthinking. Help me understand, please. Can I get 4 cards? 4 cards, highest priority. Yep, I got it. And 1 more, please. No, I mean, I see it here. Um, I feel like I see some kind of, I feel like I see some kind of situation or circumstance, um, by which another person is trying to work to energetically rebuild something. But and I think the conversation that, like, you need to potentially have is the space by which, like, I see somebody who sees you as some sort of safe space, is what I keep on getting. Like, I'm identifying some kind of modality by which another person recognizes and identifies you as their safe space. And but I almost feel like the hard part about it is, like like working through working through working through their difficulty is, like, I almost, like, I feel like it's almost like, I keep on hearing, like, making sure that you're not energetically compounding, upon a problem, is what I keep on getting, because I think that, and I think that even in the space by which you articulated, um, the fact that you said that things feel like they're rushing. Hold on a moment. Like, the space by which we rush, like the space by which we rush through things is, like, understanding, like, it's working into the understanding of what one can reasonably expect in terms of a healthy relationship. And I feel like that's what you need to effectively address with someone, like the observation of the fact, um, like, if you have questions, like, understanding, like, having a full understanding on where their headspace is. I feel like that is the most important. Like, if you want to be supportive to this person, start there, which is saying, like, I feel like it's the modality by which you say to another person, what is happening between, like, I can't, like, not walking into a situation by which you feel energetically unprepared to explain your connection to someone, but further being able to make sure that you understand the full context of why they feel it's so important that you energetically accompany them, is what I keep on seeing. Because I feel like that, like, that observation is what I'm effectively identifying. Like, and it's saying to me, like, even, um and I see you, like, I see you in this space by which you say to somebody, like, I got you, like, in a heartbeat, like, I feel like I see that, like, I see that quality within you. But, like I said, the modality by which you move towards something and you feel energetically prepared for what to find there, because I don't know why I'm picking up upon the fact that it feels like there's some kind of energy. Like it feels like there's some kind of energy of conflict that they're effectively working through as it relates to some kind of like space of gathering. Like I see, like I almost see somebody moving into a space that feels like it's highly triggering. And that's what I mean in relationality to like having a healthy conversation about something, right? Like the modality by which another person says, this is really hard for me to do alone, right? Like, this is hard for me to do alone. Would you help me do it? Right? Like, something in relationality to that is what I would describe as a positive conversation. But like I said, not feeling like you're entering a situation like as a in the position of a head scratch, which is the modality by which you say to another person, I don't know how to explain. Like I see you almost saying to someone like, I don't know how to explain like who I am to you or what we are together. So like I keep wondering, make sure that you're having proportional conversations related to expectations, because I see it too. Like there's like there's almost like there's this rushed energy around something, right? And there's something about there's something about that rush that I see is effectively helping, is helping to identify um, what's happening between you and what you can energetically reasonably expect going forward. Because I feel like that is like it's interesting because I'm reading for someone and there's like I'm like reading for this energy, and it feels like it feels like a lot of it feels like I'm getting like it feels like a lot of butterfly energy. But the reason I'm getting butterfly energy is the modality by which I almost see somebody that is working on the space of finding their confidence again, right? Like I see somebody that's working into the space of finding their confidence. So something about working into the space of their own sensitivity. Like I feel like the conversation you need to have with that person is not just how can I support you best if I accompany you somewhere, but what is effectively happening between us. You know what I mean? Like I keep wondering, like make sure that one of those conversations isn't getting lost in terms of serving the other energetic purpose, is what I keep on seeing. Animal spirit guide, sorry, bottom of the deck energy. Yeah, like the death card in its reversal, right? I feel like make sure that there is clarity of intention in relationality to um like what the nature of your relationship is. Like I keep wondering like what the nature of your relationship is prior to you effectively um going somewhere with them, right? Like I keep on hearing like you having that conversation, and this is what's important. Healthy relationship is always the space by which we can realistically have a conversation as it relates to who we are to each other, right? And that's what I mean, making sure that that conversation isn't being superseded in the modality by which someone is asking you to come toward, to move towards something, right? Like it's saying to me, make sure you're having consecutive conversations. And I feel like, and I keep on seeing like the modality by which you navigate that is not the space by which you can say, if it's not this, I won't do it. But the space by which you articulate to another and saying, like, I feel like you having a conversation saying, I want to understand what's happening energetically between us. So not only Like, can I, like, not only can I support you, but also I can support myself in relationality to not feeling disoriented, in relationality to, um, like, like how others see us as well is what I keep on seeing, right? Like not feeling, I keep wondering, like not working through I feel like not working through any kind of confusing distortion in terms of what is happening, right? So make sure you have that clarity, like before you move into a situation or circumstance like that is what I keep on seeing, because I do see the modality by which someone sees you as their safe space. But I feel like even in the space, like that is you articulating them saying, like, I want to be clear so that I can be like, so that you can be safe, like, so you can hold that sense of energetic safety to yourself as well in relationality to like what the intentions are in terms of them, like in terms of them asking you to effectively go with them in that capacity, you know? Thank you so much, Esteban, for having that reading with me. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. We are doing personal readings right now. If you would like to get on the list is open. You will be the second person read for. It is 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more, 4 cards for a donation of 23 or more for my subscribers. Links in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read for across these apps: pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. I'm going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through as I was reading. Also, if anybody wants to get on the list right now, it's a lovely time to get on the list. You'll be the next person read for. Okay. And I'm happy to read for you. If you'd like to get on the list, all you need to do is send the donation. You'll be added to the list. Alignment, thank you for the follow. She says that all the time. Thank you for confirmation on the read. Right, and I keep on hearing, it's okay to be a safe space for another so long as there's clarity and relationality to what's happening between you and them. You know? Fig, I got you. 1 card on the energy around friendship. Yes. We've got the 9 of Wands and it's upright. So I feel like I feel like I see you kind of working through. I like, if you're working tirelessly, like someone needs to have appreciation. Like it's like somebody having appreciation um for the fact that you're working into such a way that you're identifying, like you can't, when someone takes it personally, when we are energetically exhausted, is what I keep on hearing. Like sometimes that often is the point by which we recognize or we heal from situations or circumstances by which we identify or we work to let go of something. Because I feel like it says to me like friendship is the place we put our feet up, is what I keep on hearing. You know? Like friendship is the place we put our feet up. It's a place by which we're effectively comfortable to each other. Like not the space by which we're energetically demand, like yeah, I keep on getting this. Like especially with the devil card, you know? Like the modality, like the mode, like it says to me, it's like it shouldn't be, like it says to me it shouldn't be entirely, like it shouldn't be your entire um like responsibility to effectively work to energetically maintain something, like the observation of someone that also checks in upon us is what I keep on seeing. you know, animal spirit guide. Yeah, I often see this. I often see this in the space of working through um like I keep on hearing relationship. Like relationship is like a two-way street is what I keep on seeing. Right? Like relationship is a two-way street in terms of the fact that I keep wondering it shouldn't always be I feel like it shouldn't always be you having to be the one to try to like go the extra mile in order to energetically maintain it, right? Like another person holding empathy, like another person holding empathy for everything that you yourself are trying to do is the space by which we amplify or articulate upon like the space by which we amplify or articulate upon like what we're trying to do, but not just what we're trying to do, like holding not somebody taking like not something taking it personally if they find you in a space by which you're absolutely exhausted, right? Like not allowing that to be a space like often like that can often be the modality by which we let go of a relationship because it's the space by which we amplify the gift that we find towards one another in terms of building into the context of discovering comfortability, right? It's like allowing someone to see how easy it can be when we're not looking for energetic offense in everything. Thank you for confirmation. Yeah, thank you. That's exactly what happened. I got you, Avatar. Good to see you. 2 cards on T's intentions. We've got the Devil card with the Ace of Wands and its reversal. So I feel like there's something there that's there's something there that's really important um, in relationality to, I keep on hearing, make sure that you're having clarity in terms of what the manifestation goals are between you and them. Because I just keep on seeing like somebody's got a lot of unresolved feelings, but I keep on hearing like unresolved feelings, like healthy unresolved feelings are recognizing why something is the way that it is, not being upset because it is the way that it is, if that makes sense. Yeah, especially with this 7 of swords, like especially with this 7 of swords and its reversal. You know what I often I like I feel like somebody has a hard time letting go of the past. I see somebody going through a lot of memories in relationality to what happened between you and them is what I keep on getting. But I keep on getting like make sure somebody is not missing like sentimental about something that you are literally healing from, right? Like don't let somebody wax poetic on something that you've been actively working to heal from, like to navigate to in a positive space, because I feel like that's the hard part. I almost feel like I see someone carrying some kind of sentimentality upon something that I see that you have been like working on healing from in terms of like navigating I keep hearing like the difference between like the difference between like romantic or traumatized, you know, like the space by which another person understands how another person may have felt. Like make sure that they're navigating something with a sense of empathy, not looking at something and being like, oh, that was so sweet, being like there was no sweetness there. That was like something that energetically traumatized you, is what I keep on seeing. Like making sure that you guys are on the same page in relationality to your memories of something that happened between you both, is what I keep on getting. Animal spirit guide. Woo! Yeah, particularly, I got 3 different animal spirit guide cards that came out around this. And that's what I mean. Like, that's what I mean in relationality to like the ram energy, but with the eagle in its reversal and the earth dragon in its reversal, right? That's the observation of situations or experiences that are articulated and amplified in relationality to the observation of how others felt in a modality or moment by which they, like, often those experiences by which everything, like another person saying like that was perfect and being like, no, it wasn't perfect, it was perfect for you, everyone else around the self was really going through it, right? Like helping them understand and recognize how others experienced something versus how they themselves did. I got you. One card for Esteban from that angelic, please. Mm. Yeah, that makes sense. I keep on getting the same message, which is like the goodness of our heart allows us to share our heart with another. You know, like making sure. I keep on hearing, um, like making sure that I feel like this angelic's been helping you heal your heart space, which is I keep on seeing like, and it's interesting too because it's working into the context of um, like who and what we hold energetic deep friendship for, and I keep on seeing that like something about the modality by which you articulate and amplify upon deep friendship is like I just keep on hearing the same message coming through, which is the observation of like the observation of what feels energetically supportive. Um, it sometimes I keep on getting it can sometimes feel like a thankless job, right? Like and I feel like I like I almost feel like like sometimes sometimes the best thing we can do to be supportive to one another is by articulating to another person that someone didn't deserve it, is what I keep on hearing. Like it's giving me like I feel like it's almost like you articulating or amplifying like the power of your words in relationality to um like speaking to another towards, and I keep on hearing like and this is what this angelic potentially helps others, like helps to recognize the difference between someone having a true problem with someone, right? Like and it's interesting because it's funny because this angelic usually doesn't come through this way, but they're being very specific on it. the difference between another person articulating what a menace is, which is a menace that is effectively the identification point of someone articulating upon someone that they feel is not moving in a positive way, versus someone that articulates that someone is not moving in the way that they would like them to move. I keep on hearing who's menacing whom, is what I keep on hearing. You know, like the space by which another, like I just keep on hearing like the space by which another person articulates that there's an energetic problem with someone. But like, and that's what I keep on hearing. Somebody will see somebody minding their business, is what I keep on hearing. Like the space by which you see somebody minding their business, and then you take offense because they're not like, I feel like it's the energy that like, it's like, it says to me like being attentive to energy that tells on themselves in the space by which they have an energetic problem with someone, specifically because they're not like giving another person enough of their energy, is what I keep on seeing. Animal spirit guide. Yeah, that's interesting. I'm happy to share who this yeah, I'm happy to share that the guide with you if you want to reach out to me on the disco. You know, it's interesting too because that angelic typically does not get heated, but that's the most heated I've ever experienced. Like that's I was like, whoa. Like it was like, whoa. How are you doing today? Yep. Yeah. Hold on, just reading over Fig. They got mad because I drew a boundary on when it should have been when they should have cared about what I'd been through that day. Oh, sending you support on that journey, Fig. Yes, it sounds intense. Oh, that's wild, Fig. But I need to point this out, like, you know, it's the space by which another person has the conversation, right? You know, like I keep on seeing like the like allow like make sure that make sure that the conversation is happening between you and them. Hi there. Hi there, Kamaya. How are you doing? If I'm ever saying your name incorrectly, please feel free to correct me. Oh, Fig, I'm sending you so much support on that journey. So Kamaya, I'm not sure what you mean by that last comment, but please make sure you're not spamming, like not repeating the same statement in the chat. It's not polite to those who are trying to communicate. We are doing one card, Ivana. Good to see you today. And if anybody wants to get on the list is still open. You will be the next person read for. All right, Ivana, one card, please. Anything that needs to come through. I feel like this is a period by which I see you connecting with your guides more. Is what I keep on getting. And I think that there's something important in relationality to that. Yeah, specifically with the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles in its hold on a minute. Sorry. There was a message coming through for Estevan that I had to, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt on that. But it's interesting. It's interesting too, because like even I was talking about the fact that you needed like the space by which you need to connect with your guides more. But even in the modality by which I was trying to give you the read, there was an interception that was occurring. And I think that is like, it has to do with what we were talking about in relationality to that energetic blockage point, which feels to me like the guides, like often when I read into energy like that, like the space by which it was so easy for someone else's energy to move through, and the space by which the guides were trying to show me that they're trying to connect with you is why the guides are working on connecting with you so carefully. Is what I keep on hearing. Like that is the shape of the work that the guides are doing in terms of what I was telling you in the mentorship that was happening with you. They're giving me more clarification on that that circumstance is what I keep on seeing. All right, that makes a lot of sense. Clarification, yeah, the stag energy. They're like they're kind of showing me and being like, this is what we're dealing with. It's like the guides are like, do you see what I'm like? Yeah, I see it. Thank you, dear. Yeah, absolutely, Esteban. You're welcome. Excellent. All right. Yeah, you're welcome, Ivana. Thank you. Yeah, like again, like yeah, like they're working. Like I keep on. I don't get frustrated. You're not. You're exactly where you need to be. But it says to me like it's something that they're working. They're working with you very. I keep on. They're working with you very carefully. And when I get the guides articulating that they're working with you very carefully, is like it's the amplification by which they don't want to like overwhelm you. Is what I keep on seeing. You're welcome, dear. Hi there, finally. I'm happy to read for you if you'd like to get on the list. The list is open. So you'd be the next person read for. You just need to send, if you want to send, if you head over to the link tree, you can be added to the list. And sending you support right now. I know the energy right now is it's a little rough, but making sure that you're not feeling overwhelmed in it. Thank you, dear. All right, continuing right now, if there's any other subscribers who would like a one card, who have not had a one card, also if there's anyone who would like a full reading, the list is open. It is 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more. 4 cards for a donation of 23 or more for my subscribers, Binks in my Lio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read for across these apps, pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. All right. And just a reminder, if you missed the daily collective read, oh, absolutely, Susie. 1 card on career, please, for Susie. Highest priority message, please. No problem, Avatar. We've got the 9 of Cups in its upright. So be patient with yourself right now. I feel like you've got a lot of, like, like you just have to be patient. Like, I feel like you've already done a lot of work on something. Is what I keep on hearing. Yeah, like you have to be patient right now. Continue. Something that you're working on is happening. It's taking time is what I keep on getting. Animal spirit guide. Yeah, especially with the eagle. There's something with this eagle energy that I want to describe. How do I describe this best? The it feels to me like I don't want you to get frustrated right now if you feel like you're getting a lot of rejection, because the modality by which I keep on seeing I keep on hearing like something about they're giving the message that the rejection is the sound of wings, which is like feeling energetically eager for rejection, because especially in the space by which you're doing something, like the more rejections the better, because it feels to me like you're getting closer to that yes is what I keep on hearing. So don't get frustrated by it, get fortified is what I keep on seeing. Okay, thank you so much, dear. And Amy, thank you for getting on the list. Can you let me know if we're doing a general reading, or if you have a specific question you'd like me to answer? And if anybody else would care to get on the list right now, you will be the second person read for. 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more. 4 cards for a donation of 23 or more for my subscribers. Links in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I don't read for across these apps, pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. Before we continue, let's warm up those intuition muscles with an intuition check. I've got the animal spirit guide cards here. We're going to count back from 10, and when we get to 1, I will reveal the card. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We got the sow. Thank you for participating. We'll do it again after the next reading. Deborah, you can't say bird. There's too many birds in the deck. There's a lot of birds in that deck. Excellent. All right, and we're going to continue right now. I'm going to pin up Avatar here. Guys, make sure to give Avatar some love. We're doing a life path reading, please. Yep, and 2 more. And another. So I feel like there's something I'm reading in relationality to this of you effectively having to let go. Like, I see you almost working to let go of something. And I keep on seeing the space by which you work to energetically let go of something is the recognition. And I need to stress this, like, because I don't know why this is coming through. Healthy relationship is never going to hold where you came from against you. I need to say that again. Healthy energy is never, like never, going to hold where you came from against you. Like the experience by which another person, like, and I don't know what I'm getting on this. Like, I'm reading somebody being like, it's just like somebody being like, it's just a joke, being like, it's not funny. You know? Like, I keep on pointing out there's a difference. There's a difference between somebody being funny and testing the waters of what we will energetically tolerate, is what I keep on getting. There is a difference between someone articulating upon something that is energetically funny versus testing the waters of what we will tolerate. And I feel like there's something really important there, because when I see a situation or circumstance like by which another person articulates or amplifies like your sensitivity to things, I just keep on hearing your sensitivity will protect you in the best way possible, right? Like it's like your sensitivity will protect you in the best way possible because it's the observation or the understanding of I keep on hearing working into the context of being able to have, I keep on hearing being able to have um, an energetic relationship by which another person holds that sensitivity as a gift. And I want to point this out, and I keep on hearing the way you can tell, right, is if you're worried, like, and I keep on seeing this too, whatever this is I'm reading into, if you're worried that you're being extra sensitive about something, can you explain the sensitivity, right? If you have an ability to articulate upon a sensitivity, right? If you're in the modality by which you're able to effectively navigate or speak towards someone, towards the fact that you're energetically sensitive about it, I keep hearing everything you need to know comes from that observational point, right? It's the ability to effectively um, allow it to be something that feels informative, something that feels energetically productive. And I need to stress this because you know, and this is what I mean about like healthy energy is not going to hold where you came from against you, which is the modality or experience by which, like, I keep on hearing the word, you know, like I keep on hearing the word, um, I don't know, I keep on hearing the word prejudice point of view coming up in some kind of conversation that you're working towards energetically healing with another person. You cannot build a healthy relationship with someone who has a prejudice point of view because a prejudice point of view is the articulation of someone like who's already made their energetic decision up about something, or they effectively, like, they're not in the space by which they're willing or ready to have a conversation about it. um so I think that there's something really important there because I've got two completely different energies around you right now. Like, I see you in some kind of liminal space. And I feel like on one hand, I see someone that feels convinced, like absolutely convinced, that they are having an energetic break from you. And I keep on hearing something moving forward that says healthy relationship does not have breaks in it. Is all I keep on hearing. I keep on hearing healthy relationships have recess, but they don't have breaks, which is the modality by which we understand that we need to take, like, we need to take a few minutes or some time to work through something, but we don't need to move away. Like, we don't have to move away from a relationship in order to sort out our feelings, right? I keep on hearing we can sort out our feelings together. And I feel like there's something really important relationality to that because I see you moving towards healthy partnership. And that's the message that keeps on coming through, right? Like, not somebody who moves away from you, like, until they feel like they can't, until they feel like they can't take it, and then they come back towards you in the space by which they articulate that they couldn't stay away from you, right? That is often indicative of someone that isn't ready for healthy relationship because I keep wondering, they're looking at the partnership as something that isn't healthy, right? But something that they're energetically succumbing to. And so I keep on hearing we don't succumb to healthy partnership, right? We don't, Like we don't articulate to someone and say like, oh, I can't energetically resist you. Like I feel like I see you almost, and I feel like I'm just preparing you for that because I almost see somebody, like I almost see somebody gearing up to do that to you again. Is what I keep like I see, I can see the energy, like, you know what I mean? Like it's like a lot of that. So just be very conscientious of that right now, because I feel like I see some kind of experience by which you're working towards understanding. Like, and I keep on hearing healthy energy does not require breaks to sort their feelings out, right? Healthy energy, we do it like we effectively resolve to do it together, even in the space by which it feels messy, right? Like your messiness, like so long as you're taking responsibility for your messiness is not too much for someone that is invested in doing the work with you, right? So long as, I keep wondering, so long as your emotions have healthy directions attached to them, right? Bottom of the deck on this reading. Yeah, especially with the Seven of Swords, right? Like working into the context. Like I keep on hearing like none of this energy that builds into, like none of this energy that only can, like none of this mirage energy. I get so tired of reading for mirage energy, and I feel like you do too, right? Somebody who's like, oh, you look so much better at a distance, right? Like somebody who articulates and goes, oh my goodness, I don't know what I was thinking about ever getting away from you, right? Like the energy that can only, there's some energy, like when we haven't healed from our intimacy wounds, they're always like that, you know? Like someone with deep intimacy wounds will always be pining for the one that got away, failing to recognize the fact that they were the ones running away from them in order to create the space by which they're pining in the first place. Is what I keep on hearing. you know like it's like I feel like it's like that's it. I know how confusing it can be, because that's someone projecting their intimacy wound on us, right? Like the energy that I keep wondering, like the energy that tries to sentimentalize the fact that they're not with us, and meanwhile like we're there, and like you're just like you're right here, like there's nothing, like, oh, I got to work out myself, like, okay, then you're not in love with anything but your personal journey, right? Like someone is only in love with the personal journey that includes them feeling energetically wistful for someone that they can't have, right? Recognizing someone's tendency to pine in that capacity that often feels like it gets in the way of healthy relationships. So just continue to do, like let them like if like if they like, I just keep like if they like pining so much, like let them leave is what I keep on hearing, like, like let them go towards the leaves. But that's what it's like, it's a space by which we understand that those modalities or experiences, like you're not, if you're doing everything on your part, like it requires the space of being able to build into that sense of balance, right? Like don't let somebody sentimentalize the fact that they're continuing to traumatize you. Thank you so much for having that reading with me, dear. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. We are doing personal readings right now. If you'd like to get on the list, you'll be the next person read for. 3 cards for a donation of $29 or more. 4 cards for a donation of $23 or more for my subscribers. Links in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I don't read for across these apps: pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. I'm going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through as I was reading. Hi there, Divinely. And Cams, thank you for the follow. That's nice to know. Having a hard time seeing someone clearly. I'm exhausted from that. Thank you. I know it's I can see why. That's exhausting, right? So, and I feel like even in the modality by which you might recognize that someone's going through that, like just be conscientious. Like it's saying to me, it's not if, it's just when. So being able to feel fortified when someone comes back in terms of them, like, especially, I keep wondering, especially if this has happened before. you know. I'm not sure what's up at W2. Those faces. A giggle. I need to hear this, I'm sure. Yep. Hi there, Ava. Is your mentorship solely connected to tarot? No, no, not at all. No, absolutely not, Ava. So the way that those mentorships work is the mentorships are effectively built entirely in helping you get a better sense of your own energetic spiritual journey. So in the capacity by which we can work towards the tarot, we often work towards the tarot, but often, like I'm often working in terms of helping others facilitate upon their guides. So that's often me doing a lot of work to help you energetically disambiguate something that you are receiving that may feel like it's energetically confusing to you. Like I effectively help to facilitate understanding like what is effectively going on your particular spiritual journey in a way that we are effectively able to identify or recognize, like trying to effectively facilitate a deeper connection towards your own personal spiritual journey, right? And that often requires, like, that's why I take a limited number of individuals to do mentorship with, because I often am in the space where I have to do homework. Those who've had mentorships with me before will often know that I also leave the mentorship with homework that I need to go figure out in relationality to something that I'm receiving to be able to understand to a better capacity what another person, like what the guide is effectively trying to help you learn or work through, if that makes sense. But thank you for that question. And we usually, so typically the first mentorship that we do is effectively kind of an orientation meeting where we kind of take a moment to articulate upon goal setting, like being able to navigate and recognize like what it is that we're trying to do in such a way that we're able to amplify or articulate like what feels most effective towards how we're effectively trying to like and we usually utilize that first meeting to help like build the energetic curriculum in relationality to what we'll do in proceeding mentorship classes. I hope that helps you, and thank you for that beautiful question. And those can either be purchased on an individual level or as a series. So again, the one mentorship is usually, it's not, it's something that I provide, but it's the classes typically build upon each other. So the more that one is able to commit to them, the deeper that we can usually dive into what it is that you're receiving, but also helping to kind of like, my job is to help disambiguate a lot of that work that you're experiencing. Absolutely. All right, my friends, final call right now for anyone who would like a full reading, or if you have, and that's also, I will also point out that is going to be offered to anyone who signs up for our retreat. So the retreat is going to be a space where, again, we'll have a lot more of that ability to work on with each other one-on-one. So everybody who effectively goes on the retreat with me will have the opportunity to have a mentorship class with me. So we'll we'll ideally try to set those goals before we head to on the retreat. So that way we can effectively utilize the retreat itself as an opportunity, not just to connect with the cards, but also to kind of do the work that one is setting about on in relationality to having that homework in the retreat space. Thank you so much, dear. And if you're interested in learning more about that retreat, or all you need to do is if you message me directly from this live, if you send me the word trip, I can send you information upon it. If you are interested in becoming, if you are a super fan, or if you join or become a super fan today and would like to join our super fan only disco channel, just message me a disco gift. And if you are interested in learning more, if you join the disco, in the perks section, you will find a special coupon code that will give you a discount to our tarot class subscription program. But if you are not a subscriber, you can message me the word class and I will send you a coupon that is only available in this live. And all you need to do is hit that orange icon. And again, if you want information on the trip, just message me the word trip. Final call right now for any of my subscribers who have not had a card pulled, or anyone else who would like a personal reading today. If you missed the daily collective read, it'll be up later today on the place where we keep the videos. It'll also be up on the place where we keep the photos. It'll also be up. Finally, I just wanted to confirm if you'll be getting on the list, because I know you expressed interest. Just let me know before I finish the live. I'll be happy to read for you. If you missed the daily collective, it'll be up later today. Oh, absolutely, Gabrielle. Hold on a moment. Can I get one card for Gabrielle, please? Highest priority message. And Cheryl, thank you for the follow. My sweet, these are one card readings for super fans. So if you'd like to become a super fan, I'm happy to draw a card for you. Okay. One card for Gabrielle. I feel like I see some kind of situation or circumstance that's helping you like I almost see you having that work in terms of being able to articulate to another in relationality to like I feel like I see you getting better at communicating how you're feeling. Bottom of the deck on this reading. Yeah, especially with this Temperance card in its reversal. The thing with the Temperance card in its reversal, like the Temperance card in its reversal is healthy, like it's saying to me, healthy relationship can stay present in hard conversations, which is, it's the modality or experience by which we're working through something. But I keep on getting not working towards an aversion towards relationship's supposed to get more complicated, not less. So if somebody's in that space by which the space by which they feel like energetically averse towards navigating uncomfortability, like I feel like it's almost something that you need to address with them, right? Like it's saying to me, like it's almost like the space by which you have to have that um yeah, like the band-aid rip moment, especially with like the adder energy, right? Like I keep on hearing healthy relationship, there's no confusion in relationality to what's happening, right? It doesn't, I keep on hearing it doesn't make us, feel it doesn't make us feel confused. It's something, it's like it's the space by which we're effectively able to identify and articulate what it is that we're trying to do in a better way. um and I think that there's something important about that I'm seeing there. Like it says to me, like I almost see a situation by which um you're like, it's like a situation by which I see that you're getting better at making your own feelings heard, but not just the space by which you're having your own feelings heard, like having someone be receptive and meet them back in equal measure is what I keep on seeing, right? Like I keep on hearing like the definition of reasonable is being able to recognize that you're doing something energetically logical, right? So make sure, I keep wondering, like, make sure that you're taking logic-based approaches to circumstances that feel like they're don't let the illogic confound you. Let it inform you is what I keep on seeing. Yep. I got you. Thank you so much. I know we got really close to 100K today. And thank you, Cheryl, for the follow. You have a beautiful holiday as well. I got you, Denise. One card, please. We've got the Empress. So I feel like I see you working in some way um, to recognize or identify what your manifestation goals are. Bottom of the deck. Yeah, especially with the temperance, right? Like often the space by which we're working towards our manifestation goals helps us to it helps us to recognize and identify um like the quality and nature of our own frustrations. I keep wondering, healthy manifestation leaves room to be able to communicate our frustration, right? It's the context by which we're able to effectively articulate upon it that helps to feel energetically fortified. Animal spirit guide. Yeah, particularly with the wolf. I feel like this is a lot of I feel like this is a lot of work that you're working on. I feel like there's something important there in relationality to um like I almost see the space by which um like we support one another, we support one another in terms of what it is that we feel energetically protective about, is what I keep on seeing. And I need to point this out, like what's nice about healthy energy doesn't just energetically affirm anything, right? The observation of energy, like the ability to navigate the space of a healthy critique, allows things to be possible. So, the modality by which another person is able to amplify or articulate something that we could be doing better often creates the context by which things become possible, because it's the observation of effectively being able to have that, like having those conversations. But that's why we see, like, you can't have a healthy conversation with someone, you can't have a healthy relationship with someone who feels like they're energetically perfect, because I keep on saying none of us are perfect. Like, we're always kind of working on doing something in a better way. So I feel like it's almost like making sure that you're not getting into an argumentative space with another person that, like, doesn't show the capacity to be able to take energetic feedback, right? Like, healthy energy recognizes or identifies or works through the space by which they can take feedback in a place by which they understand the positive nature by which another person may provide it to them, is what I keep on seeing. Cheryl, these are one card readings for super fans. So if you'd like to become a super fan, I'm happy to draw a card for you. How can I say that? Is there a way you recommend? I feel like it's you. I feel like the thing about it, Gabrielle, is making sure that it's not enough just to articulate that we want a manifestation goal. It's like being able to describe the steps towards it, like the next steps. Like, a healthy manifestation goal is one by which we can amplify and articulate upon when we can reasonably expect the next step, right? We don't leave each other in the dark about it. We just have productive conversations upon it. Happy to read again, Cheryl. These are either donation-based readings, so if you'd like to get on the list, all you have to do is send a donation. Or if you'd like to become a super fan, you can have one card reading. Queen Jay, thank you for the follow. And thank you again. All right, my friends, final call right now for anyone who would like to get on the list for a full reading, or any super fans who have not had a card pulled today. Just a reminder, if you missed the Daily Collective, it'll be up later today on the place where we keep the photos, and also up in the place where we keep the videos. It'll also be up as a podcast on my spot at Tarot Church and over my stack. I want to thank you. If you became a super fan today, make sure that you head over to our Disco channel, introduce yourself to the collective. You'll also find there a special coupon code on that tarot class subscription program. Our next class is going to be on January 15th, but you'll find there the recording for the class that we recently did. If you become a subscriber, as well as 9 hours worth of material, you'll get access to over 20 hours if you become a founding member. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages. Huge thank you to my followers, old and new. Thank you for being here today and for sharing these messages. Huge thank you to my subscribers. Your ongoing support means the absolute world to me. And the biggest thank you to my followers. I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Please take care of yourselves. Please take care of one another. And oh, we got to 100K. That's wonderful. Thank you guys so much for participating. Thank you. I appreciate that. We're going to be doing our 100K giveaway right now. So I'll be gifting a reading back to the collective. I'm going to be thinking of a number right now between 1 and I'm thinking of a number right now between 1 and 44. First person I see that posts the number will get the reading. First person I see, not the first person that posts it. Sometimes I see things in a different order than you guys post them. Nope. Mm-mm. 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 Oh, Sunshine, congratulations. You got it, dear. That will be available to you starting tomorrow. And thank you so much for participating. All right. And thank you guys so much for helping us get to that 100K. As I mentioned, friends, I'll be back on tomorrow. If you'd like to be notified as to when I'm gone live, you can go ahead over to my profile, activate the bell there to turn on notifications. You can also register directly for the event tomorrow. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages. Huge thank you to my followers, old and new. Thank you for being here and sharing in these messages. Huge thank you to my subscribers. Your ongoing support means the absolute world to me. And the biggest thank you to my mods. I hope you guys have an absolutely beautiful day. Please take care of yourselves. Please take care of one another. And we'll do this again tomorrow. Have a great day, everyone.